We'll wait to the crescendo. Give me 15 seconds, guys. Sharon! Fucking Ozzy Osbourne's dead. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. The last 24 hours are the biggest shit show I've seen since the whole Hogwarts Legacy thing. I think, God, this is genuinely the worst drama. This is probably even worse drama than Selengate, honestly, even though the stakes really aren't quite as bad as Selengate when you think about it. We'll get into it in a little moment, but I still think no matter what comes out about Vshojo, V-shit-show, is that unless there's been like sexual assault and toxic bullying, Niji Sanji is still worse than Vshojo. It's just a case of Niji Sanji is slightly more competent than Vshojo, because Niji Sanji, as far as I recall, they can pay their talents on time, they just can't pay any of their artists on time is the problem. Yeah, charity fraud is never to laugh at. We've got so much to cover today. I've tried my best to get as much shit together in the little time I had, so unfortunately I'm not a NEET. I do work for a living, so I've tried to slap as much together as I can in the 30 minutes and the amount of browsing I've done on Twitter on my phone. So let's get straight into today's drama. Hello everybody, hello, thank you very much for tuning into today's stream. Wild rides, Lord of Darkness is gone. Does the Fishman have one of those genies which attacks his business rivals? I am going to talk about Faith Connect for a little bit in this one, but it's not going to be really in the context of Faith Connect wins again and Fishman wins by doing nothing, which I've seen that meme every time there's drama. I see that fucking meme comes back, yeah, and people go ape shit. And as funny as it is, some of you do need to calm down and have a little bit of respect for the people who are suffering under this shocking development with Vshojo, yeah. So to help people get on board of what's happening, I'm going to show you two videos. I'm going to show you a bunch of slides, screenshots from Twitter, and what we're going to do is we're going to break down two videos, we're going to do some analysis, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what this means for Vshojo going forwards and its VTubers. And I'm also going to be at the end talking about lessons we can learn from this massive shit show regarding Vshojo. So yeah, not to get ahead of myself too much, but what I will say is I do think that Vshojo's business model is, in theory, it is feasible, but the way Vshojo have gone about it is absolutely terrible. They've really gone about their business model the wrong way, but it's regardless, even though it's feasible, it's a really suboptimal way of running a business, and I'll explain why a little bit later. So actually, before I show you the video, let's go through the agenda. Right, let me get the agenda slide on stream. So before we get into the Vshojo nonsense, let's first talk about some news regarding Nimi Nightmare. Yeah, so Nimi Nightmare just announced this morning, I think. Yeah, this morning for me, that she's getting married. So help, I'm being cucked has intensified. Can someone go check in on VT for me, please? I don't like 4chan, I don't go on it. Can we someone needs to do a suicide watch check for VT, because the ASMR queen, unfortunately, has confirmed. Guys, I know that I'm a literal who and I have no presence in the VTubing scene, but right, just please stop thinking with your dick. All right, think about it with your brain for 2 seconds. How do you think these ASMR masters know how to make men for just become putty in their hands with their little breathy, licky ASMR noises? Think about it for how do you think they know exactly? How do you think they know how to give you that good shit? Because they've got a husband or boyfriend that they do it to for free in their own time. Think about it. They're not single, guys. Every VTuber is she's either being ploughed by someone, or she's actually a man. Okay, that's the rule. That's the rule of women on the internet. They're taken or they're a man. Simple as. VT's actually falling apart. Oh no, poor VT. I'm very happy that Nimi's being very married as well. Hopefully Dizzy next. I want to see Dizzy getting married next, guys. We need to see the Dizzy lineage continue. I want to see the Lumi lineage continue. I want to see the Pippa lineage continue. Although hopefully Hopefully we won't have any vomit drawers with Mini Pippa. That's going to be all me, baby. Eric is Dizzy's most virile love bug, I think. It would be nice, but it's up to her, yeah. I do secretly wonder how many Phase Collect VTubers are actually like lesbians. I don't know. But yes, guys, unfortunately, your ASMR queen, Nimi Nightmare, is in fact getting married, and she's going to have lots of wonderful children, I imagine, with a lucky husband. So good for her. Good for her. We need more VTubers getting married and doing very well for themselves. It's very positive news. Congratulations to Nimi. Hello, Cole. Hello, Cole ZR. How you doing, buddy? By the way, how's the volume? Is the background noise a bit too loud? Should have turned it down a little bit more. I'm addicted to Broken Arrow, so I know I've got the Broken Arrow soundtrack going on in the background non-stop. I need, oh yeah, oh god, Irie's such a sweetheart. We definitely need the Irie bloodline to continue. Yeah. She's actually doing something great. I'd be sad if they became single, resentful women in their older age who are miserable and depressed. Yeah, you know, the funny thing is as well, Magdalenius Rex, is that there's an awful lot of young VTuber feminist women who were already at that stage of being single, resentful women who are miserable and depressed. I mean, they hate men for some reason. And it's like, sweetheart, just fucking find yourself a nice man and then you'll stop hating men. Then we're going to go from mummy-like to actual mummy. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. So let me get the video. Let me get the Iron Mouse video open. We'll go through that. We'll watch that. And then we'll talk about what we're looking at. Okay. Am I in the way? No. Perfect model size, perfect model placement. Okay.
I am leaving Vshojo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by Vshojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds.
So I just want to say there as well, by the way, pay attention to Iron Mouse's wording. She said that she's been misled, okay, right? So she's not saying that she was completely ignorant, she had no idea what was going on. She says she's being misled, and that would make sense. That seems genuine to me. So Iron Mouse is obviously, she's one of the OG Vshojo talents. She has a significant stake in the business. So when she says she's being misled, right, people are coming out maybe guns blazing a little bit too quickly, and they're thinking, well, how the fuck didn't like any of the OG talents know that this was going to happen? Well, what's probably happened, I don't know, we'll find out in Discovery, I imagine, when it gets to the legal situation, yeah, is she's probably been asking the finance business partners and like the CEO what the hell's going on with the finances, what's going on with the business, and they've probably, based on what she's saying here, been lying to her and have been, I don't know, maybe they've been fudging the numbers, lying about operating costs, like how deep in the red are they and when she's getting paid and shit. So it's important to remember she's probably known that something's been off for a very long time, but they've probably, based on what she said, just been lying to her about how bad it is and what's been happening, yeah.
Which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from the...
They allegedly have... they've confiscated, they're withholding 500,000 United States dollars from a charity that's sole purpose is to assist people who are very deathly ill, including children who are very deathly ill and are dying from a horrible, one of the worst diseases you can have, because as it implies in the name, their immune system doesn't work, which is an awful, awful way of living, right? Iron Mouse is wheelchair bound. So exposure to the outside world is limited because when you don't have a working immune system, fucking anything and everything can kill you because there's so much shit out there in the world. Is Fruit even alive? We'll get on to Fruit in a minute. Where's the money, Fruit? Where's the money?
Vshojo, I know that this is a lot, and it's very important for me to be honest with all of you. I really want to tell you everything, but unfortunately right now, I have been instructed by my attorney to wait for more of the legal procedure to unfold. So one day, I will be able to tell you the full story.
And that's very smart. Obviously, that's the right play. She doesn't want to do anything that would get the case thrown out of court. She doesn't want to put herself in the situation where she's going to be sued and potentially lose the case. And it's important as well to remember, guys, that by Iron Mouse, I know that there's two. Oh my God, thank you very much for the 10 memberships as always, buddy. Thank you very much, buddy. I much appreciated. Hooah, buddy. Yeah. Thank you very much for the. Oh my God, thank you very much for the 10 Swiss francs, Vega, buddy. Yeah. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much for the membership as always, buddy. I volunteer to marry and cure those feminist VTubers. Hey guys, let's get Azores and Twisty together. Let's see if Azores can fix Twisty. I want to see that. Yeah. Hey, you're back from the sandbox. Hell yeah, buddy. I'm glad you had a safe deployment. Welcome back stateside. Make sure you get yourself a nice veterans discount at your local Denny's and enjoy some nice food, buddy. Provided no more rocket royales occur. Hell yeah, as always. Congratulations. Welcome back from your deployment, pal. Glad to hear it. But what was I saying? Yeah. So about the legal situation with Iron Mouse. Oh Christ, you fucking distracted me now. So with this legal situation, right? So this isn't petty drama between two people who hate each other, right? This isn't shit. This isn't just mere shit flinging. For Iron Mouse to come out here and make these very serious accusations, as there's still a lot of legal speak, right? But this is a whole new level. This is like a massive escalation of the kind of hostilities we see between a VTuber and their corporation. So for Iron Mouse to come out here and say confidently with a full chest and be like, look, I'm accusing Vshojo of essentially embezzling a large amount of funds and scamming a charity and not paying me monies that I'm owed. If she, in order for her to have the confidence to come out and say that, then she would have had to have sought some very serious legal counsel, and that counsel would obviously advise her on what she can and can't say. And if she's saying this much, then they probably are highly reassured. They think they've got a rock solid case, that they have no problems. Well, not no problems, but they've probably got Vshojo by the balls at this point. So even though there's two sides to every story, there are allegations, and that Vshojo has its right to explain its side of the story. For the talents to be this bold in their accusations, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look good. I'm inclined to believe them, even without the other side of the story. Yeah. But whoa, you can't do Twisty. I wouldn't dare cuck Barra out of his wife. What did you say, Pablo? You're not actually back from the deployment yet. Are you still in pool, as always? I don't know what you call it in the US. Are you still stuck on the Are you still like stuck? Hey, Cry High. I haven't seen any reposting of lolly futa hentai on my timeline, Cry High. Hello. I'm very proud of you, Cry High. You stopped gooning for a little while. Mainly withholding of wages according to legal mindset, which they can get through to California State Court for Labor, and charity fraud, which can get the feds involved. Yeah, it's the same thing here in the UK. The government really doesn't like it when you fuck with money, right? Especially charity fraud. Because the thing about charity fraud is that charities are normally, they're either exempt from taxation, or charities get like highly beneficial subsidized rates of taxation. So the government hates it when you fraud charities, because from their point of view, it's like, well, if you're not actually giving money to charity, that's tax income for that's tax that could have been paid to the government. You fucks, give us our money. Give us our money, right? So yeah, they would be very, very interested in any potential charity fraud. Tax deductible, that's the word. Yeah.
For now, I just need to let you know that I will no longer be a part of Vshojo.
Understandable.
Give me a moment of your time.
Thank you very much for the membership again, Trumpet Buddy. Thank you very much, buddy. Good Lord, what is happening at Vshojo? Skinner! Gun run! Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis! This time of day, this time of year in a VTuber corporation. Yes. Can I see it? No.
I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know for a lot of people right now that this might be the first time you were ever watching me. I became a VTuber because I really wanted to make friends. I was very lonely due to the fact that I have a primary immune deficiency disease called CVID.
or what she's doing here, it's very clever. All right, now when I say this, okay, I'm not suggesting that this is disingenuous. But what she's doing here is it's like she's in court already. She's basically in court, but she's in the court of public opinion. So there are two ways, basically, that IMAs could have framed this separation from Vshojo. So what she's doing here when she's appealing to basically a moral authority, right, when she's making it personal about herself, is she's basically executing Vshojo here. She's really twisting the knife in the wounds to guarantee Vshojo's total death. Because she could have been like, the way she could have framed this if she wanted to, is she could have been like, hey everybody, I'm leaving Vshojo. They haven't paid me my fucking wages in several months, and they fucking stole the charity money we raised for an organisation that I care quite a lot about. That would be the kind of, like, clean, professional standard kind of separation talk if she wanted to maybe open up the door for second chances. But instead, by appealing, by talking about her personal life, her whole reason for VTubing and how this affects her personally, what she's doing is she's basically going through her life story as a content creator again. And it's like the opening statement of a court case trying to win over the jury. She's framing how this whole thing has had a disastrous effect on her life, and the organization, the Immune Deficiency Federation, is responsible for saving her life, and it's a violation of everything that she set out to achieve. So, you know, she's targeting your emotional side. It's the evil corporation has dealt a great wound to the innocent Iron Mouse, so it's a very good move from a PR standpoint, and there's no way that Vshojo can possibly challenge this in the court of public opinion. So what Iron Mouse has done here is she's taken the nuclear option. She's given them absolutely no mercy. So this kind of shows that despite the smile, despite the cute seriousness, she's fucking done with Vshojo. There's like no going back here.
I basically have a low to near non-functioning immune system.
Thank you very much for the $5 again, my trumpet buddy. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. Oh, God, I'm going to have to tally all this up for the donathon now. Yeah.
Which means I get sick a lot, and it caused me to remain isolated for long periods of my life. So then I found streaming, and I thought about giving it a try. Allow me to use an anime avatar. Yeah,
so basically, we don't really need to go beyond this point. So most of the rest of the video is, again, her just constantly attacking your heartstrings, saying, you know, you know, she's like, well, we all know IMA's story, right? So she's basically just constantly attacking your heartstrings so that you'll feel bad for her, and that, you know, she can control the narrative this way. So Vshojo at this point is Vshojo's fucking done. There's absolutely no way Vshojo can come back from this. In my opinion, they're dead. So yeah, let's get the tag on. Let's get the music back. So Vshojo's fucking done, and I don't believe it, honestly. I didn't think this would happen. At least I didn't think it would happen this way. How did Vshojo screw things up so badly? It's like, just don't be shit, guys. How is this so difficult? Just don't be shit. Just don't be fucking awful. Just don't be the worst. You need to watch your finances. Don't be shit to people. And speaking of finances, who the fuck is Vshojo's finance business partner? And how did he let this happen? There should have been an emergency company meeting in Vshojo years ago involving the talents. This should have happened years ago. They should have been like, look, they should have been like, look, with this forecast, Vshojo is fucked if we don't change our business model. We're suggesting these changes going forward. We're going to have to start taking bigger cuts and changing our financial model. And if we don't do it, then Vshojo is done. Now, maybe if they did this, the talents would say, okay, no thank you, I'm going anyway. But at least when you're being open, honest, and you communicate with the talents, there's a chance you can salvage something, right? Maybe the talents will have an idea. You know, you've got an action plan, you've given them a new mission, and you can rely on maybe the talents to help you get yourself out of the situation that you've been put into, instead of doing this thing where you lead them ringing around the rosies, you push everything back and you cross your fingers and hope that you can financially recover from it in the future. But the problem is, right, is that with Vshojo's business models, they've got people like Fruit and Haruka Caribou who haven't streamed in fucking 10,000 years, and it's like, how the fuck do you expect to make any money when a significant chunk of your talents don't even stream anymore? Where's the money coming from? Especially when you give them like the lion's share as well of the revenue cuts as it is, and you get most of your money from, I can't remember now actually, what's the breakdown for Vshojo? It's something like, I think the way Vshojo mainly makes its money is off of like the merchandising sales or something, or is it, I think they keep most of their streaming revenue, and then Vshojo just takes a nice healthy chunk of the merch. But yeah, it's like, what is Vshojo's merch? Plushies, t-shirts and keychains. A shit merchandise option compared to Fishman and his coffee. Coffee is a much better merchandise item than this cheap VTuber tat, like fucking shitty plastic standees and t-shirts and whatnot, because coffee is a consumable. So you're constantly wanting more coffee. The thing about a standee is you buy a standee once, that's it. Don't really need to buy another one unless you're some fucking weirdo like Pascal Saucon, yeah. Right? But normally you buy one or two standees of a VTuber and then you don't touch the merch again. But with coffee, if you enjoy coffee, you're always going to be buying it because you run out of it and you need more of it. I don't know. Apparently Kevin isn't so stupid afterwards. He does know what he's doing, yeah. Thank you very much for the $10 QB, buddy. Obi-chan, Obi-Chet Kenobi to V Skywalker. You were supposed to be better than Niji, not say I hold my beer. Yeah, I wouldn't say... I would say that Vshojo, based on recent events, is more incompetent than Niji Sanji, because at least for Niji Sanji's sake, despite how fucking legitimately evil Niji Sanji is, it's still running, it's still got a business, it's still got some talents performing, whereas Vshojo, not as evil as Niji Sanji, but they've lost all the fucking people that stream for them. So yeah, more incompetent, but less evil. Which is a funny indictment, actually, as to how this industry works. You can be really fucking evil, but still have a business. Just don't fumble the finances, and you can probably still coast along. 70-30 cut on streaming, 50-50 on merch. Yeah, I thought that was it. I heard it was like 75-25. But as I'll get into a little bit later, there's room for negotiation on that, yeah. Apparently, Kson was, I heard for a rumor that Kson was actually able to get 100% of his streaming revenue, and I heard that some of the newer people to Vshojo were getting lower numbers of cuts, so some of them were getting like 65-60-40, whereas originally it was about 75-25. So yeah, they kind of realized late that they needed to increase the amount of money that they're clawing from their talents, but instead of having those uncomfortable discussions with their old school talents, instead they just tried to fuck over the newbies, from what I've heard. I don't know, well, maybe we'll see that in Discovery now. Yeah, at least it's still solvent. Exactly, yeah. I would oh my god, a Demichi hat would be a fantastic merchandise idea. I'd buy a Demichi hat as well. I'd buy a Demichi hat plushie even, yeah. Most phase merch isn't good quality. It's not. It's terrible quality, it's overpriced, and it takes fucking forever to arrive. But this isn't yet another stream on how much I fucking hate Phase Connect's merchandise, yeah. Except for the coffee. The coffee's actually pretty good, yeah. The coffee's still overpriced, but it's pretty good, yeah. So, yeah. So more, yeah. Now, gentlemen, I'm starting my confederacy of male VTubers, and I'm starting a new VTuber corporation. And I'll take 50% of your income, and I'll take 70% of your VTuber merchandise. But I promise I will not steal shit from you. I will protect you from yourself. I will protect you from your retarded fan base, and I will make sure that you have everything you need to be successful as a VTuber. I mean, that's literally it. I don't understand how the Yacht Man and how Gunrun and Co. can fuck up something so simple. I would argue, to some extent, you could argue that a VTuber corporation is nearly passive income in a sense. It's not quite passive income, but it's nearly passive income because you've got these self-employed, quote-unquote, contractors who basically do the hard part for you, right? You've got talents who understand their audience. They know how to make them happy. They know what to stream, and they know what gives them the big funny numbers, right? Particularly the Vshojo talents who are already well established indies or corporate VTubers prior to joining. So at that point, it's literally like, okay, sit back, let the talents make you loads of motherfucking money, just to make sure that you're helping them optimize their revenue extraction business, and just make sure you manage the corporate finances. Literally, all you have to do is make sure you're running your side of the business fine, and you can just leave the talents to do whatever the fuck they want. And that was Vshojo's major selling point, is they're like, oh, we let the talents do whatever they want, we don't interfere in things. And that's a flawed model, because the thing is, sometimes you do need to get involved and get in the way of the talents, but you're doing it to protect them from themselves, or because they aren't making you enough money for them to be a financially viable product. And that's the way you have to look at it, unfortunately. What really annoys me about corporations like Idlecore and Vshojo and some others is that they run their business, they think that virtue signaling is like the first step to running their business. And it's like, look, you have to be realistic. There's a reason why there are industry standards, and the industry standards are a 50% cut of streaming revenues, including ad revenues, and normally it's like 10% or less for merchandise. Sometimes it's literally like 2 to 5% for merchandise. And the reason you do that is because it's how you remain solvent, right? Particularly if you've got quite a wide expansionist mindset as an organization. If you're running a very tall organization of a small but elite number of VTubers, then fine, you might be able to get away with a higher cut for the talents because you don't have very many talent managers to pay for. You're not constantly having to get new artists, riggers, or the kind of VTuber adjacent business and contracts going to pay for your talents. You don't have many like vocal coaches to pay for. You don't have to pay for many people to do dancing and shit. And ideally, if you've got a nice tall elite operation going, then ideally each talent in your organization should be raking in a shitload of money so that you can basically afford to pay them a higher cut, because 80% of 10 million is better than 50% of 100,000, right? So that's the way you should be doing things. But what Vshojo and kind of what Idlecore were doing with their virtue signaling nonsense is they're like, yeah, we're going to run these big massive operations and we're so cool and hip and brilliant that we're going to give talents pretty much all their money, and then we're going to give them everything they want in terms of idol production at the same time. And yeah, sure, if the talents are naive and ignorant on how finances work, they might be happy with it. But then it's like, well, they're not going to be happy when you run out of money, you go in the red, and you have to go bankrupt, and then their VTuber corporation is dead. Given the choice between giving 50% of my income to an organization and being fired, which would you rather pick? I'd rather give a VTuber corporation half my income, so at least I still have a job. I'm still a VTuber. I'm not unemployed. Christ. If super chats become tax-free in the US, that will really help out the American VTubers. Yeah, I hope so as well. The thing is, in the UK, British VTubers in the UK will get taxed a flat 50% of all the incomes they make when streaming. So if you've got a British VTuber, if you follow a British VTuber, right, and she's got a full-time job and she VTubes, the government will take probably around about 40% of her income, and then plus taxes will probably equate to about 60 to 65% of her entire income. And then the VTuber corporation will take 50% of her VTuber corporation income, and then the British government will take another 50% of the 50%, and the 30% that YouTube will take. The VTuber corporation takes 50% of the 30% they get from YouTube, and then the British government takes another 50% of what's remaining. Right, so British VTubers are paid fuck all. So I am very much in favour of US VTubers having their super chats, which I would count as tips, as being tax-free. And we should have secondary jobs in the UK at neither a highly reduced tax rate, or they should be tax-free as well. No, the UK isn't a serious country. They tax us of all our fucking money, and then they give it all to foreigners to live in hotels. It's fucking mental. But anyway, this isn't a stream about me being based and complaining about how much I fucking hate the government. Let's get back on track. Throw the tea. I don't like tea. I've thrown a tea for Harbour for free. I like coffee though. Coffee's a good drink. So let's go over the agenda then for the rest of the stream. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on. We've already done that somewhat whatsoever. So Iron Mouse has left Vshojo. If you just joined the stream, Iron Mouse left Vshojo. She's claimed corporate has not paid her for some time, and has kept $500,000 of charity money raised for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which to some extent is responsible for saving her life and the life of many other thousands of people in the world. Kson has left Vshojo in explosive style. We'll look at that video in a moment. Kson has claimed that she hasn't been paid in 9 months. She blew up at the Japanese CEO on stream to his face, which was fantastic to watch. So Project Melody, Kuro, Amelie and Michi have confirmed left Vshojo. I don't know what's going on with Henya at the moment. Last I checked, Henya has removed her Vshojo branding tags, but hadn't made an official statement saying if she's left Vshojo. Given the fact that she's removed the brand tags and the fact that everyone else has fucking left, she's probably leaving. And also what's happened recently is that hired but pre-debut Vshojo talents speak out about their experiences with Vshojo as well. So I've seen one black video, one of those, those that black screen. My experience with corporation videos has come out from one of these pre-debut talents about how shit it's been to be working with Vshojo basically, and 2 more talents who were hired by Vshojo but are basically in the Vshojo's equivalent of the basement have spoken out as well, and about what their intentions are going forwards. Unsurprisingly, the pre-debut VTubers aren't joining Vshojo anymore, and again, this is a good, quick, easy PR win for them. I mean, no sensible person with a functioning brain cell would want to join Vshojo because it's fucking dead anyway. So not that I'm saying it's disingenuous, but it's the right play for their careers from a PR standpoint, for them to get ahead of everything and come out, make a big public statement saying I'm electing to not join Vshojo because they're evil and have been mean to the VTubers I love so much. Now sure, that could be genuine. That could be absolutely genuine, but old Maulington here, he's been around private soldiers for a very long time. He's been around a lot of very desperate people in the business who are up to shenanigans and no goods. I always assume that people have an angle, a selfish angle to much things they do. So yeah, it's an easy win for them to come out and be like, I'm not joining Vshojo because Vshojo's been mean to the Vshojo talents I love so much, when maybe it's probably the fact of they've gone, okay, Vshojo's dead. Even if I joined, I'll be on stream for 2 weeks before the whole thing collapses. Better just ride the wave and see what happens. Yeah. Thank you very much for the $5 Pavlonia. Can the last talent out of Vshojo building turn the lights off, please? Thanks, I love that phrase so much. Absolutely right. I wonder who will be the last person out of Vshojo will be. Who's going to be the last chopper out of Saigon? I mean, I'll talk about this a little bit. So we're in a sense, we're mocking and we're laughing at Vshojo a bit, but let's remember the human element of this. Let's remember that whatever you think of Vshojo, I know a lot of people hate Vshojo, V-shit-show, the Mean Girl Corporation of e-whores, whatever. Personally, I don't give a shit about Vshojo. I've never cared about Vshojo as a brand. I thought I thought their business model was certainly interesting. I have a lot of respect for Iron Mouse. I think she's done a fantastic amount of work. I think she's an incredible person who's really accomplished a lot, and she's done a lot of good in the world. But I basically only watch Kenya anyway. I only like Kenya. I don't care about what's happening to Vshojo, honestly. But there are a lot of people out there who do care about what's happening to Vshojo, and remember, at the end of the day, many of these talents, this is their living, this is their life. Their fans care a great deal about them, and basically a bunch of corporate greeds, mismanagement, you know, the old VTuber classic, has put their lives on hold, put them in a precarious position, and set them back and potentially ruined some of their dreams. So remember the human element. Remember that there are real people here who are... They're going to be fine. I'll mention this in a minute. The Vshojo talents, they're going to be fine. They're going to do very well from this, in spite of what's happened. They're going to see big funny numbers that haven't seen in a long time, if ever. So they're going to be fine, but it still sucks, right, to be fired from your job. And when you had a good thing going, I think of Mike Ehrmantraut's rant about, you know, to Gustavo Fring about how they had a good thing going. It's the same thing here with Vshojo. Like Gunrun and Co have fucked up a good thing that was going, and all of VTubing loses from this Vshojo situation as well, because more competition is always a good thing. It's good for the industry because it keeps people humble, it pushes innovation, it stops people from being lazy and resting on their laurels. But also, having more competition in the industry appropriately filters out VTubing audiences. Now, with all due respect to Redditors, which is none, actually. Let's not talk about Redditors. With all due respect to the average Vshojo viewer, right? And I know the Vshojo fandom is a very broad spectrum, right? They're not all Redditor types. But Vshojo has an awful lot of Redditors and purity spiraling people and the cultural Marxist types in their audience, and Twitch people as well. Vshojo is the... Let's not go into politics. Maulington, shut the fuck up about politics for 5 minutes. Let's put that to the side a minute. So Vshojo is the home of the Twitch VTuber fan. And again, I started watching VTubers on Twitch myself. Okay, I watched GoldTM and Lumi originally on Twitch. However, what I'll say is this. I can't fucking stand Twitch culture, and I can't stand ye old typical Twitch VTuber viewer, or I just can't stand Twitch chat in general, right? So I'm very happy for Vshojo to be a thing, because I don't want these people in the Phase Connect community shitting up our spaces, right? So fortunately, because of Vshojo's business model and how strong Vshojo's talents are, they're going to be fine. There's not going to be like a mass exodus of Vshojo fans to the Phase Connect community like there was when Niji Sanji had Selengate. But still, right, keep their audiences with Vshojo. I don't want them over here, please. Thank you very much for the $5, QB buddy. We should start our own VTuber. You know what? I genuinely would start my own VTuber corporation if I had the capital. There's enough desperate talent out there that I could actually probably mold and lead a group of fine young women and an organization into financial success. I think if I were to run a VTuber corporation, my two major revenue streams would be selling tea, because Sakana already has the coffee. I'd maybe hit up Dragon's Tea, right? Get a deal with Dragon's Tea. He can sell us VTuber branding tea, and then I'd also sell VTuber trucks. Right? Because I know Americans quite well, and there's one thing Americans love. It's a big fully loaded truck that costs $90,000 that they don't need, that only costs about actually $40 to make, right? So imagine the overhead on selling fully loaded trucks with ridiculous insurance and servicing packages they don't need. I'd make a fucking fortune selling big VTuber trucks to Americans. That's how I'd make my money. Move over, Ford. Move over, Chevrolet. The Lord Morning truck. I've played a shitload of automation. I know how to make a good truck. Yeah, we'll stick a V10 in it. We'll stick an 8.5 litre V10 in it, and then give it a big exhaust so it sounds like a Viper. Yeah. We should start our own VTuber corporation with Blackjack and Faustian contracts. Hell yeah, buddy. I do like the Faustian variety people. Yeah. Let me read chat for a little bit, actually, before I move on to my next point. Is this going to be the final scene of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Fruit plays Carlton at the last 10 minutes? Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if the last stream from Vshojo, Fruit appears on stream and she says, "It's okay, everyone makes mistakes," and then boom, there we go, the end of Vshojo. Has Fruit left, by the way? As far as I'm aware, I haven't heard anything from Fruit about her leaving. I think there might have been some activity from her channel before I started live streaming. I don't know, chat. Has Fruit left Vshojo yet? To be fair, Fruit allegedly has already committed fraud. Well, she hasn't committed fraud, I get. Is it fraud? I don't know. For legal sake, I won't call it fraud. But Fruit already owes a lot of motherfucking money to a charity. So, on that basis, like VTuber, like CEO, I guess. This is the form for Vshojo at this point. They really hate paying money to charity, does Vshojo? Well, except Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse actually pays the money she owes the charity. This shit show remind me that Hime Hajime. Oh my god, you've reminded me that Hime Hajime exists as well, Nia. Thank you very much for the $5 thanks, Vega. Yeah, actually, thank you, Cryhigh. You're going to put me back on track now. We were going to talk about the human element, about what's going on here. Henya got me into VTubers, as in Henya, or Pikami, because I fucking love. Never forget what they took from you. Pikami in her kaiju model, man. She was so fucking cute and down to earth and wholesome and lovely. I mean, she's not really any different from Henya, but I much prefer Pikami's model to the Henya model. Pikami's model was peak, yeah. They were fine before the corpo route, like a certain fish now. Another VTuber corporation is imploding. That's exactly right, Mr. Wayne, yeah. Thank you very much for the $5, Mr. Vinny the D, buddy. Hell yeah, buddy. Thank you very much. God, there's so many, like, US Army guys in this chat. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about veterans and, like, liking VTubers and Faith Connect in particular, but I love it, yeah. Mike said that to... Oh, he said it to... Oh, yeah. He said it to Walter, didn't he? Sorry, I meant he said it to Walter about Fring, not to Fring. Yeah. I miss the age of a bunch of small, medium corporations, but I do as well. I don't know. I do think Faith Connect was at its peak. Well, was in a better place, actually, in terms of me enjoying their content more when they were still relatively small and were competing with Idlecore about a year and a half to 2 years ago. But then I don't know if that's just the effect of, you know, my favorite niche little VTuber corporation is too mainstream now, so it's lame and gay, now it's mainstream. It might be a little bit of that, but I don't know. I found Face Connect a bit more endearing when they were more scuffed and shit. I don't like them getting good and improving, honestly. A little bit. I mean, I'm happy for them, but at the same time, it's like I miss the days when you'd turn a stream on and it's like, oh, this is a complete dumpster fire, and I love it. You don't love emote spam? No, I don't love emote spam, unfunny jokes, and 37-year-old neckbeards spamming Reddit memes in the chat constantly, yeah. Thank you very much for the $2, my ear trumpet again, buddy. I just can't stand Twitch. True. VTuber. Oh, it's Tuesday, isn't it? Big ass trucks with anime raps. Yeah, exactly. Hang on, I need to restart the stream a sec. Shit's frozen and I've lost chat again. I don't know why it does this. YouTube's so stupid and shit. Hang on. Just for some reason, I think it might be chat causes the tab to crash, maybe. It might be that. There we go, we're back. I can see chat again now. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. You're contracting. Yeah. Thank you very much for the $2 again, Vinny. I keep forgetting you're a contractor. There's too many army guys for me to remember the careers off here. Pikami's dinosaur model was the best. Hell yeah. Yeah, her eyes are great. I really love Pikami's eyes. That was a big thing for me. I'm really particular about a VTuber's eyes. That was one of the things when I got my model. When I went to Whimsycat, I was like obsessed with the eyes of this model. So my eyes in this model are my favorite thing about the model. Anyway, so let's talk about the human element to remember about this. So kind of, as I said before, I think the talents are going to be fine in Vshojo. Some of them have faced a major setback as they've relied on Vshojo for like the big idol, you know, production, merch management shit. They had all that done for them so they could just concentrate on doing what they love and what people watch them for in the first place. So by Vshojo going under, these talents, they're stuck now because it's like even joining Hololive for them and having to start from scratch again, like with Hololive, isn't an option at this point. All that work, all that time, all that investment they put into building their audiences, their branding, their presence in VTubing is too big for them to now like start again from scratch with a new persona, even in a corporation as large as Hololive. So these Vshojo talents, they're stuck now. They've got nowhere to go, so they have to roll their sleeves up and sort things out for themselves. So kind of what are their options? What can they do from here? Well, they can either form a clique like Vshojo and, I don't know, maybe associate themselves with more competent, trustworthy people, or see if they can build their own thing again from scratch. But they're after the crash of Vshojo, they're probably right now thinking... They're probably not hot on the idea of immediately starting a new Vshojo style organization, right? They're probably thinking about just remaining as independents at this point and maybe hanging out together or something. Or if they're not going to form a new clique, then maybe they could ask Kevin, ask the kind of the fishman, if they could be an invader, maybe. But yeah, I think they're going to be fine. There's going to be a huge outpouring of love and support for them because of the terrible situation. So their funny numbers are going to hit like new levels they've never seen before or haven't seen in a long time if they've fallen off a bit. And financially speaking, which is the important thing, financially they're going to be Gucci, right? They're going to be rolling in money and super chats and subscribers for like a month at least, if not a couple months. So, and I reckon they're going to get their money back in the future legal proceedings from Vshojo and Gunrun and etc. But it will probably take a very long time. I imagine this whole thing will probably take years, as it often does with this amount of money. It will probably take them years to get the money, but they'll probably get it back at some point. Unfortunately, with inflation, it's going to be less as it drags on. But yeah, hopefully they can afford good legal representation, and it's going to be like it's going to kind of be like the VTuber equivalent of Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, with the afflicted VTuber, with the afflicted Vshojo talents being Johnny Depp and the Vshojo being Amber Heard, right? It's going to be a big spectacle. You're going to have Asmongold and Charlie and Tectone and whatnot, like commenting and streaming every single minute of this drama, because there's nothing else going on at the moment as far as I'm aware, other than Hassan Piker. So yeah, this is a sign, by the way. This is a sign of the end of VTubing. VTubing is becoming more and more mainstream. It's starting to be milked for content by the big commentary channels now, guys. Be prepared for a big influx of normies and normie pandering from people inside the gate. The gate's open, guys. The gate's wide open. People are flooding in. And there are enemies within the gates of VTubing who are keeping the gates open for them. So be prepared to find your little corners of VTubing and be prepared to defend them as much as you can, and make it clear to your Oshis and your favorite VTubers that if they try to pander to these new demographics that come flooding in, you're not going to be very happy. You're going to drop them. That's what you're going to have to do, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's a bit of a black pill there for you, but it's something to think about. They'll get filtered soon enough. They will not get filtered soon enough if too many of them come in too quickly. That's the thing. That's what always causes the death of hobbies, of niche hobbies that you love, is that too many people come in too quickly is the problem, because you can't filter them all out. I just hope that Sakara doesn't accept them without some discernment, because we don't need more Redditors. Well, I think on the subject of Vshojo talents, I would like to see Henya join FaZe Connect, and I think that I don't think that FaZe Connect is beneath Henya, and I think everybody would have a very good time if Henya was in FaZe Connect. The FaZe talents all love Henya. Henya loves the FaZe talents. She would do very well there. FaZe Connect would massively benefit from having Henya in their organisation. Win-win. I'd say to Henya that, give FaZe Connect a go. See if she can be a FaZe invader or something, yeah. But yeah, Miroslav raises a good point. No chance FaZe can support more right now. I think the FaZe Connect lifeboat is a bit overcrowded as it is right now. I think FaZe Connect needs to build its internal infrastructure and support and fix some of its major internal issues before it starts accepting refugees. But on the subject, on the subject of people moving to FaZe Connect, I expect to see a copious amounts of FaZe begging over the next couple of weeks as well. I mean, I've literally just started it. Get your FaZe begging caps out, guys. Get your caps out. Start begging for your favorite Vshojo talents to join FaZe Connect. Although I am interested. I wonder how many Vshojo talents FaZe Connect fans actually do like and watch would want to join FaZe Connect. I think it only really would be Henya, wouldn't it? I can only think that Henya would be the only Vshojo talent that FaZe Connect fans would want in the organisation. Because I haven't seen any Iron Mouse to FaZe Connect, you know, like there was with Gura and Fauna, right? As soon as their graduations were announced, people were going, "Oh, Gura to FaZe Connect, Fauna to FaZe Connect," right? It's like, yeah, there's no way those two are joining FaZe Connect. Haven't seen it for any of these Vshojo talents except maybe Henya. So yeah, maybe only Henya would be a good fit. Yeah. Next few years, Kevin monopolizes EN VTubing. Maybe, we'll see. All he has to do is continue to be the only VTuber CEO at this point who is focused on the mission and isn't like a greedy retard. I said this on Twitter, by the way. So Kevin is one of the chaos gods of VTubing, okay? Now, Kevin, the only thing that keeps Kevin in check, what keeps Kevin satiated is money, okay, right? But what Kevin does with his money is he spends it all on gacha games. He spends it, as long as Kevin gets all this money that he can spend on JPEGs with fat tits in his favourite gacha games, then he's satiated, he'll behave himself and keep FaZe Connect on mission. And so in order to keep the Chaos God Kevin happy, we must sacrifice money to him in the form of coffee sales. And as long as those coffee sales come rolling in, Kevin will remain satiated and he will keep FaZe Connect alive and happy and on mission. So keep buying those FaZe coffee, boys, and FaZe Connect will be just fine, okay? Simple as that. He's the god of tits and wine. He's the god of tits, coffee, and gacha. Yeah. Money, and I think he enjoys being best girl at the conventions. He probably does. He does like rubbing it in some of the talent's face about how he has more followers on Twitter than he does, and his marine merch as well. Yeah, maybe Yagoo could give Hololive its second invader after Suisse with Henya. Yeah, I don't think Hololive's model lends itself very well to the full invader model, really, because the whole point of, I think, this restructure within Hololive and what Yagoo's doing and the way Hololive operates is that it's very much when you join Hololive, you do things the Hololive way, or it's the highway, right? Whereas FaZe Connect is more of a hands-off look. We're an entertainment company first that sells coffee, and everything else is secondary. So if you want to come to FaZe Connect and do something, as long as it doesn't destroy the company and put us in a bad light, we'll ask you politely to please don't do that and do something else. And then if you tell us to fuck off, right, and it doesn't hurt anyone, then we'll be like, oh, okay, you know what, whatever. Like Murray En, for example, in their Chinese jokes. Now, Sakana is I don't know if he's full Chinese or half Chinese. He's Chinese-Canadian. Maybe he's a full Chinese with Canadian citizenship. But Sakana's Chinese, right? He's Chinese. And Murray En likes her jokes about the Chinese. So Sakana asks Murray En to lay off the jokes about the Chinese. She tells him no. And he's like, oh, okay then. Right? He has to say, he's like, oh, okay. Well, there's nothing I can do about that now because people love it. Right? So, praise Lord Kevin. Henya won't leave her house. She'll never do any of the idle stuff in Hollow. Yeah, hey, Torn, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Actually, sorry, did I miss a donation? Yeah, let me check. Thank you very much for the $5 again, as always, buddy, yeah. VTubing becoming mainstream is sad. Just think, coming soon. Britain's new #1 VTuber, Andrew Tate, yeah. I'd fucking love to see Andrew Tate as a VTuber, honestly, yeah. Just to see the meltdown that it would cause. Yeah, it's funny. Murray and Lumi's discussion about listening to Sakana and telling him to fuck off once he's done talking is so funny. Yeah, it is as well, right? And it shows that there is a level of respect and trust between the two of them. Yeah, Nasa gets aggressive when she hears Chinese. She does. It's really funny. Please stop talking about the Chinese. The Fed jokes are fine, Kevin. Yeah, guys, you can make fun of anything and anyone except my people, the Chinese, basically. Yeah. Okay, let's get back on track. Where was I? Going back to the human element. After we've just gone on a little bit of faith shit housery. Remember, guys, behave yourselves with the jokes and the memes. Okay, rein it in a little bit. So yes, the Fishman wins again. Shit is funny, but have a little bit of respect and empathy for the Vshojo fans. The problem is that you can do it on your own merits, right? And you can suffer the consequences if you do this. My VTuber Corporation is better than your VTuber Corporation shit. But don't tag the VTubers in it. Don't drag the corporation into this shit, right? Otherwise, what's going to happen is Pippa is going to get mad at you, just like she got really fucking mad at V, right? And and you're going to be devastated. Well, Pippa's probably not going to reply to you personally, right? Because you are beneath her notice. But Pippa's going to genuinely hate your guts, right? And I don't know. Some of you are into that shit, yeah. But I think some of you are going to genuinely be crushed that your Oshi Pippa thinks you're a twat. Because Pippa loves it. Pippa is very deep in the VTubing source. She loves VTubers. She does VTubing. She's very good friends with many of these VTubers, even if you fucking hate them. And she doesn't want to see people that she really likes and respects and are friends with going through this suffering, and then to see Phase Connect fans, tag her in or whatever, and like using the Phase Connect fan tag to be like eat shit, rival VTuber Corporation, Phase Connect sweet, right? Think about how this looks. Think about how it looks, yeah. Thank you very much for the $5, Himawari, buddy. Alright, hear me out. We forced VTubing to stop being mainstream, and we drag everyone down to our level. Well, this is the thing, Himawari, unfortunately. We are not cringe and mentally ill enough, unfortunately, to properly filter out VTuber friends. Romanian owl, yeah. Unfortunately, Ree was not being racismos, capitalos. He was being transphobos. Maulington is doing a great job of staying on target this stream. Very impressive. Thank you, Pavlo. I'm very proud of myself about remaining on mission. You know what it is, Pavlo? So I subscribed to a channel recently. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it's this old United States Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. I forget his name now, but his nickname is Genghis Khan, and it's just basically this old retired Lieutenant Colonel from the Marine Corps, and he's basically just talking about accountability and talking about like the mission and explaining about his bad experiences with officers and entitlement and not respecting the men under him, like under them during his time in service. And I don't know, something about watching this crusty old officer, like old retired infantry officer, it's kind of brought me back down a little bit. It's reminded me of my uniform days and about I'm remaining on mission. Okay, Maulington, you're giving a presentation, you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, you're explaining the mission to the men, you're giving an operational brief. Okay, remember, respect people's time, keep it on track, yeah, and don't be afraid to listen and accept the feedback, right, from the guys. So yeah, I'm trying to fix my tangents. But thank you very much for the 5 gifted membership subscribers, buddy. That's very kind of you guys. I appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you. And as always, there's a donathon going on at the moment, yeah, for an Oshi Push tournament. But again, guys, I've got a full-time job. I'm taxed. The government taxes the ever-loving fuck out of me. But I VTube for fun, so yeah, never feel like you have to give me money for doing things. Yeah, I'd rather you keep it and spend it on, I don't know, shit. I don't know. You're going to spend it all on stupid VTuber merch shit anyway. But I really appreciate it regardless. Thank you. I get this feeling Henya is coming to PC. I don't know, Phoenix Shaman. I haven't seen much activity from Henya. I haven't had much time yet. So we'll see what she does. I hope she does join Phase Connect. I think that would be fun. She's one of us. All right, she'd be home at Phase Connect, I think. people forget because of how explosive her anger is, but Pippa's actually a very sweet person as baseline. She is. Pippa has a yeah, but this is let's Maulington try not to go on a massive rant about how much he respects Pippa again, right? But I say this a lot. I'll say it again. What I really like and respect about Pippa is that she is very much a what you see is what you get kind of person. She wears her emotions on her sleeve. Right, you know, she does a terrible job of hiding exactly what she's thinking and feeling, and and that causes her and FaZe Connect problems sometimes. But regardless, I do really respect it, right? Because that's how you know that she's genuinely a pretty decent person with her head screwed on straight. She's quite moral, and she's genuinely empathetic and quite a nice person. And I hate that word nice. I hate that descriptive of people when people are like, oh, one of my virtues is that I'm nice. It's like, that being nice isn't necessarily a virtue, right? And what do you mean nice? Okay, like even many of the worst, like Joseph Stalin was nice to his daughter, right? Like, what do you mean nice? It's like, it's a wishy-washy non-statement, really. But the thing about Pippa, right, is that she's funny enough, even though you think about the Merryweather situation, right, where Merryweather spoke mad shit about her for no reason, and she came to his defense, accepted an apology, and his defense, which was a blatant lie, but she accepted it anyway and gave him a light chastisement because she knew, right? But she didn't really believe him. I don't think she did. She just knew that he was getting a massive amount of shit from the FaZe Connect fandom. So if she accepted his apology publicly, then she was like, people will probably leave him alone, right? That's the kind of person she is. And you know she's genuine because she doesn't just have this side of her. You've got the short, fat Otaku situation where she went absolutely fucking mental at Dev for being a cunt to her friend, and during the Hogwarts Legacy thing as well, when she went ballistic at the VTweeters and shit. So you can tell that when she has these moments when she really pops off, that she's genuine, because if she really does fucking hate your guts and wants nothing but the worst for you, you have to be a particular brand of retard for her to hate you that much, and she isn't afraid to let you know in how much contempt she holds you. And that's why people respect Pippa quite a lot, because she's a what you see is what you get person. And this industry, I mean in life in general, you have a massive amount of people whose whole thing is they even have the balls, they have the gall to advertise themselves. They give themselves a title. They're like, oh hello, I'm that wholesome lovely VTuber who's everybody's friend and is always nice. And it's like, right, when it comes to being a lovely person, nice, kind, wholesome, or based as well for that matter, you don't get to call yourself wholesome. You don't get to call yourself based. That's a title that is bestowed upon you by your fandom or the community. You don't get to call yourself that. That's a title that's given to you. So yeah, I don't trust people who always like try to be nice and take the high road on everything. Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone, something triggers, something will trigger you. Right, like anyone who's always nice and takes the high road, no matter what happens, no matter how bad people treat them, they don't have to pop off, they don't have to snap back at someone, but to not show any aggression or resentment is fake and genuine. We all know what human beings are like. Stop pretending. You don't have to be a wholly, always pure, wholesome person. You can keep your mouth shut. You don't have to speak out about it, but don't sit there and pretend that people being mean to you doesn't faze you, or that bad things happening doesn't piss you off, right? Anyway, stop. Enough tangenting. Hey, David, how's it going, buddy? How's it going, my friend? Mongol warlords. Yeah. Stay on target. We're too close. Stay on target. Loosen up. Yeah. I keep trying to be a total asshole, but people won't let me. Yeah, that fucking male VTuber Himawari Kotetsu, guys. I wonder how many women in this industry Himawari has hit up in the DMs and sexually abused them. Hey, Himawari, I know all about you and your secret Discord and harem. What was I going to make? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, again, we're going to still on the subject of FaZe Connect a little bit. So, yeah, going on from Pippa and her having a go at V for what he said. If you don't know what V did, I don't know why V did this. It's one thing to make that statement. It just baffles my mind when people tag the talents in their shit posts. It's, guys, if you're going to be a toxic, cringe, weird asshole, don't tag the talents into your shithousery, please. It's really cringe and gay. But what he did is he tagged Pipkin Pippa in, and then he said, so I can't remember the exact wording, but he said something like, Pipkin Pippa is going to be the new Darkside Phil, and she's lived longer than these bitches. And he had like a picture of Iron Mouse in the background, and it's like, V, for fuck's sake. There are so many layers as to why that tweet is fucking the worst timing and highly inappropriate. It's one thing to mock Iron Mouse in general after all she's done for VTubing and the amount of respect and love people have for her in this industry. It's another thing to mock Iron Mouse when her company has just gone under. Her charity that's responsible for saving her life has just been scammed out of $500,000 from said charity. To laugh and mock this whole situation and to tag Pipkin Pippa in and to liken her to Darkside Phil, it's like, what? When you made this tweet, at no point, what was he thinking when he made this tweet? For fuck's sake, man. I know that V is basically a tourist when it comes to VTubing. As much as he talks about VTubing, and as much as he makes her a load of VTubing related videos and analysis with a VTuber model, V isn't a proper VTuber fan. He is very much a normie. He's very much I don't know what the opposite of a bread tuber is. He's like a based bread tuber, basically, who wears the skin of a VTuber. He uses VTubing purely as a medium. He's not actually culturally clued in on anything about VTubing, right? But he has been orbiting VTubing long enough at this point, I think, that he really should have known better than to post something like that. But whatever. He owned up the owl. He deleted the tweet. People gave him shit for deleting the tweet. I think he should have deleted the tweet if he regrets it. It's fine. He fucked up. Delete the tweet. He didn't retract. He didn't hide. He just tried to hide it and pretend it didn't happen. He apologized. Delete the tweet. That's fine. He learned from it. We'll move on. But fucking hell, what a thing to post. No, seriously. At no point while making that tweet was higher mental faculties engaged. No, exactly. Clip watcher at best. Basically, yes. Yeah, V recommended me Gura, so I went into the rabbit hole, but this is cringe. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He did the right thing in the end. He apologized and deleted it. Exactly. Deleting the tweet was the smartest part of the whole thing, yes. There are situations when the right thing to do is to delete the tweet, all right? You delete the tweet. It's important to not delete the apology, because when you delete the apology and the tweet, or you just delete the tweet and remain quiet, that's scummy coward behavior, right? He made the point. He doesn't stand by the comment. He apologized. He's learned from it. It was out of taste. Bad, inappropriate joke. Whoops, my bad. I'll delete it because, it's gross. Let's not leave this up. I'll leave up my apology explaining I'm sorry for what I did. Move on. No problem. That's fine. The problem is that if you're going to crucify everyone and hold a mistake over their head for all eternity, no one's ever going to want to admit or learn or, improve from those moments when they fuck up. And it's something I find very annoying and stupid and gay about VTubing sometimes, is that someone fucks up once. Sure, it can be a big fuck up. They generally learn from it. They don't do it again. But just forever and ever, people never forget about it, and they always hold that one mistake over their heads, and they say that even though you're not the same person you were 4 years ago, because you said this one stupid thing 3-4 years ago, well, that's you forever now. It's dumb. But anyway, let's move on from that. So let's get onto the topic now about Sakana and Face Connect. So yeah, don't do what V did. And don't antagonize the Vshojo fans. Show them a bit of sympathy, show them some support, and reach out to your Vshojo oomphies if you have anyone. However, I will say that yes, Face Connect is now undoubtedly the number 2 VTuber corporation in the EN market. And Face Connect, I know people make the joke that Fishman's doing nothing and he's winning, but yeah, I understand it's a joke. However, you need to remember that FaZe Connect did not get to where they are today by doing nothing. There was some luck involved. There were some very happy accidents involved. Pippa and the whole Warts Legacy debacle could have ended up going the other way and could have destroyed FaZe Connect. Fortunately, it didn't. It ended up being the best thing to happen to FaZe Connect. Same thing with the Ethan Ralph stream. The Ethan Ralph stream and Pippa making the funny Jew jokes, that could have destroyed FaZe Connect. Fortunately, it didn't. It didn't ruin FaZe Connect. So we need to remember there's been some massive mistakes have been made. Some luck's been involved. Some calculated risks have been involved. But what you need to remember is that everyone in FaZe Connect, from talent to talent manager to Sakana himself, they weren't the best, they aren't perfect, they aren't the best now, but when they make mistakes, they learn from them, they do right by their community for the most part, and they continually improve, and they're dedicated, they're determined, they put in a lot of hard work, sweat and tears to improve in a very short amount of time to produce some high quality content for all of us, yeah. And it's their growth, it's difficult to properly assess sometimes, particularly on the internet, because the thing is, people who watch streamers and people who are on the internet for a very long time get desensitized to how impressive growth of a content creator can be sometimes, yeah, because we're surrounded by people with like massive funny numbers who are really popular, who make big money, get big viewerships, or come into the industry already possessing many years of singing and dancing talents. But what you need to remember, particularly with a lot of the FaZe Connect roster, is that a great many of them came in, well, they're very young for one thing. Some of them were still in school, or I guess university, college, whilst VTubing at the same time. So many of them have full-time jobs, or they were in full-time education, and they're VTubing 3-4 times a week, spending countless hours doing their VTubing and being on Twitter, you know, entertaining your guys with their shithousery and their lesmaxing on Twitter. But in the background, on top of all that as well, they've learned how to sing, how to dance, and how to be stage performing idols in their own time, on top of all of that shit, right? Like, I work about 10 to 11 hours a day, and that's enough for me. I still, by the end of it, I can't be fucked to stream or produce videos most days after that. But some of these FaZe Connect VTubers for many years now, when you consider all the prep they put into their streams, the background stuff that they do, the Twitter engagement and whatever, they're probably working in excess of 12, 13, 14 hours a day, really. Tenma, I have no fucking idea. It's magic how Tenma's able to do everything she does, given how many hours in the day there are. So yeah, it's not accident. It's not purely luck. Luck is a factor, but it's a small factor. FaZe Connect is where it is today, thanks to the work of Kevin, thanks to who Kevin has recruited among the talents, thanks to... Well, actually, I've got a sheet here. I've actually written some notes down to explain what makes FaZe Connect great. What did I do? Let me see my cheating note. So FaZe Connect didn't get there by nothing. Like I said before, Kevin is actually pretty good at his job. He isn't perfect. He's made some bad mistakes, but he learns, he improves, and most importantly, Kevin delegates. Kevin isn't afraid to delegate and trust both talent manager and VTuber with furthering the interests of his VTuber corporation. Okay, Sakana doesn't lose sight of the mission, and the mission of FaZe Connect is the same mission of any company, which is to make money and to be financially in the green, because if you don't have any money, if you go bankrupt, then there is no VTuber corporation. So Sakana has a responsibility, even though there's no shareholders that he's accountable to, he still has an accountability to the stakeholders, which are the people who work under him, to run a financially viable, a solvent business that will continue operating so that everybody under him has a job and gets paid, right? Because some of these FaZe Connect VTubers, like Lumi, are basically they're full-time streamers. So if he fucks up and does stupid virtue signaling nonsense, which puts FaZe Connect in the black, he's basically made Lumi unemployed. She hasn't got a job anymore. She could continue streaming, but he's put her in a bit of a shitty situation. So Sakana loves to delegate, and he loves to not spend money as well. He likes the free labor he can get out of the talents. He's like, oh, Shooter, we'll bring you in as a talent, Shooter, and we'll also get you to do all the art, we'll get you to do all the backdrops, and we'll get you to draw new models for us. Yeah, and we'll also get you guys to work in the warehouse for free. We won't pay you for working in the warehouse, and you can pack merch in the warehouse for us. He's a crafty fish fuck, he is. I think Sakana should be investigated by the Canadian authorities for treating his talents like slave labor. But anyway, the thing about Sakana as well is that he puts his foot down when necessary. As much as the talents and like to have a go at him and swear at him and piss about with him, Sakana is the boss. Sakana is the man of fate. Well, Sakana's Chinese, so he's not quite the man. He's half a man. Sakana's half a man because he's Chinese, but but Sakana is the man in Phase Connect, and no one disputes that. He will put them in their place when they start shit with him and they challenge him. And the other thing about Sakana, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Phase Connect has a vastly superior merchandising model to Vshojo. Coffee is such a great merch idea. You see all these like veteran podcast guys, they're always selling coffee, right? You've got Black Rifle Coffee Company, you've got Jocko and his coffee company, like every ex-Marine, every ex-Green Beret, every ex-Ranger, Special Operations Forces guy it starts a podcast. Like, instead of writing books these days, veterans instead start a podcast and they sell coffee on their podcast. And the reason why they do it is because it's really fucking easy to do. The return on your investment is massive and it's a consumable, so people are always wanting to shovel that shit into their mouths, right, and support the troops. So yeah, coffee much better than stupid t-shirts and cheap plastic standees and other stupid uninspired VTubing nonsense. So that, again, that's a much better merchandising model than what Vshojo had. And the other important thing to remember about Phase Connect over Vshojo is that, yeah, talent freedom sounds nice in theory, and it can be pretty cool. But what Phase Connect and its talent managers do is that they protect the talents from themselves, but they do not get in the way of the talents. And that's very important to remember. You can protect talents from themselves, but not get in the way of them doing what they need to do to be successful. And this is the thing about places like Vshojo and Idlecore, is that they make it a major selling point, but they forget that if their business model is built around being hands-off, then what are the managers being paid for in the first instance? And it's like, well, if you've got a very generous business model where you're giving your talents the lion's share of the money they're making, but then at the same time you're hands off, well, you need to get involved. You need to interfere when they're not making you enough money. You can't have it both ways. Hands off, bigger cut, take a bigger cut, or have more creative control, give them a bigger share. You can't give them a bigger share and give them more creative control unless they're really fucking good at their jobs and bringing you in a shitload of money. Then you can trust them and that's fine. But I think that's what's happened with Vshojo. I think that's probably the biggest cause, other than just general financial mismanagement. I think the problem with Vshojo and why it's collapsing is they've just let too many of their VTubers stop streaming, stop making them money, and the spending got out of control, and they're just not seeing a big enough return. And they should have interfered a long time ago and said, look, we've tried to give you this freedom that you wanted, that you asked for. You aren't making enough money, so here's the deal. You give us a bigger cut, we look at your statistics, and we guide you in a way that's more so that you're extracting money from your customers in a more efficient way, or we close the project, right? We say goodbye and we end it. And that's what Prison Project did, right? I was upset when Prison Project closed. The talents, I think everybody who liked Prison Project was upset about how Prison Project closed. But funnily enough, Sony Music Entertainment, despite Sony Music being a fucking evil sweatshop in itself, handled its VTuber corporation a much better way than Vshojo did, because what Sony did is they said, look, Prison Project isn't making us enough money. We're going to shit can this thing. However, what we'll do first is we're going to speak to the talents and we're going to say, look, there is room, there is scope for us to continue Prison Project, but the problem is you aren't making us enough money for your current aspirations to be worth it. Essentially, what the simple thing that Sony was saying is they're like, look, Prison Project talents, you basically want to be like HoloLive Lite. You want all the song covers, and you want to be stage performing idols. You aren't making us enough money. We can't keep giving you covers, and we aren't going to be able to make you stage performing idols. If you want to continue being streamers, we can maybe work that out. We can maybe work something out there. That's probably the discussion Prison Project had with its VTubers, and then the Prison Project VTubers themselves had a group discussion, and they said, right, thank you, Prison Project, we want the song covers, we want the stage performing idol shit, so we'll go our own way, we'll cut ties cleanly. Boom, there we go. No drama, no hassle, no bankruptcy, no loss of incomes, no 9 months of you not paying our salaries. Nice clean separation. There we go, boom. I think Vshojo should have gone that route, but they took the coward's way out. According to what Ironmouth says, they've probably been lying about the business and the finances to them. And this is the thing as well, right? Is that I don't know how involved or what kind of financial information Zentreya and Ironmouse and Melody, etc. have. I don't know how much information they can reasonably request from the finance business partners in Vshojo. But even if they got that information, because of how shady corporate lawyers and like corporate accountants are, what happens in these big corporations is they do a lot of dodgy shit with money. They do a lot of dodgy shit with the liquidity to kind of like try to hide and try to muddy the books as much as possible in order to get out of paying taxes, essentially, right? They try to avoid as much tax as possible, so they end up putting money into holding companies and spreading it out to all these weird little tiny corporations that are in tax-free zones, and then that money, you know, I don't know much about how accountancy works, but you know, we know about how this dodgy bookkeeping works. So even if Iron Mouse and Co requested, like, show me the books, show me what's on there, they could probably like obfuscate things in a way that they wouldn't be able to make any sense of it or make things appear better than they were, right? I don't know if anything's come out about the shareholder situation, right? Maybe Vshojo have been lying to the shareholders as well and been lying about how well the business has been doing. I don't know. Maybe that will come out soon. But yeah, I've seen some people kind of jump to conclusions and say that the talents have known about this for a long time. I can think of many scenarios, many tricks that Vshojo finance business partners could have done to hide things from them. Imagine Prism got gutted for Concord instead. That's the thing, God. Sony should have just spent the money on Prism Project instead of Concord instead. And right now, we'd probably have Prism Project as a pretty fucking legit mini HoloLive. Well, I mean, Sundaria basically is Face Connect these days. Hey, Spencer. Good to see you, buddy. How's it going, Mike? Good to see you, Spencer, buddy. I bloody love Australians. You guys, you know, the thing is about Australians, right? Is Australians, they're basically born to be VTubers, right? I don't know what it is, but Australians, they're proper Ripper Legends cunt, right? They're just so fucking mental and just such straight shooters. They're just natural born entertainers, right? Just natural born VTubers, eh? And Mexicans as well. I think Mexicans and Puerto Ricans are natural VTubers. Where were you when Vshojo is die? Hey, Thorin. I was at house eating Dorito when phone ring. Vshojo is broke. No, I was playing poker. I was cooking jambalaya. Oh, I've never had jambalaya before, actually. I was doing a stream where I cooked that for the first time. And then saw the meltdown of one of my servers. Fucking hell. Stop giving away my tax secrets. Never. An accountancy lawyer would need to forensic the entire thing. I imagine we're going to see it in Discovery. And it's going to be fucking glorious. Sundaria got devoured and it's Dizzy's fault. No, Crybus. Everything is Lumi's fault. It was Lumi was behind Sundaria. Just like, take care, Cryho. Take care, buddy. So Lumi was behind the closure of Sundaria. Lumi is behind Nimi Nightmare cucking VT. Lumi is behind Vshojo going broke. Lumi is behind CyberLife CyberLife failing. Lumi is behind Hogwarts Legacy. Lumi is behind Pikami graduating. Lumi is behind Gura graduating. Lumi's behind it all, guys. You can't be getting away with it. Sundaria, oh my god. Imagine, god, what a timeline that is. If Sundaria did accept Kevin's investment, Phase Connect would never be a thing. What a stroke of luck that is. Fucking hell. It's crazy how life works out like that, right? Just one decision. Just the most simple of things, like not picking up a phone or not answering, like an email, can just radically alter what's the phrase, like the way history goes, right? Like, just imagine if this one small mundane thing went another way and how much that would influence history. Just incredible how life works out like that. I think that's a big part of the reason why I've always loved history so much, is just that fascinating thing, that fascinating what if scenarios that occur. Yeah, exactly. Good thing. Copying odds off the charts, that cesspit, yeah. Thank you I can't remember if I already thanked you, Krivas. I think I did, but thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, Krivas. Okay, so moving. Yeah, Parrot's going to be eating off it. Parrot just got off the Niji Sanji mines. He finally got a well-deserved break, and now he's going to be on the Vshojo mines for several months now. But let's look at the Kson element of this now. So let me get the Kson video up and we'll go over the Kson one. So this is going to be a bigger video. I'm not sure we'll watch all of this one too, but this is the Kson pops off at CEO.
So I have been lied to from the company a lot about the situation.
Again, lied to.
My payment stopped last September. I was asking what's going on.
So yeah, last September, that's 9 months ago. Now, it's actually not an uncommon thing for even really big, supposedly prestigious organizations who are going through, especially when they're going through a bit of financial trouble, to not pay you on time. I've never experienced it myself, but my cousin was owed 2 months of salary back when he worked for Accenture, right? So it's not uncommon to see people stick around in a company after 2 months, 3 months of not being paid. But 9 months... Almost 10 months, Smiths, Joey, exactly. Almost 10 months of not being paid, but she's still stuck around. That's a fascinating one. I don't know what to make of that. On the one hand, I can see, like, maybe the brand and kind of the giants who are running Vshojo. She kind of naively trusted them that she'd eventually get her money back. And maybe she was having some kind of discussion which were alleviating her concerns. But I don't know. After not being paid for 9 months... I mean, Kson is such a big, notable VTuber, right? That she can live off of everything to the side of what Vshojo owes her anyway. If Vshojo was her sole income source, then yeah, she would have left after the first month, probably. But still, to stick around with a company for after 9 months of no payments, that's the new one. I don't know what to make of that. That's a bit suspicious, if you ask me. That's very strange. But anyway, going on.
For a long time, multiple times, all they said was, it's going to be paid, it's going to be paid, it's going to be paid.
Yeah, but for 9 months, okay, Son.
And I think it will never be.
But if you think it will never be, then why do you still remain there?
Why I waited so long.
Yes, tell us.
Was that if I like say, okay, I'm gonna reveal this information and I'm gonna quit. If I say that, I thought they were not going to pay me the amount they owe.
Okay, I can see, like, in the stress of the situation, right? In the stress of the situation, she doesn't know what to do. She thinks. I can see how she might genuinely think that in the panic of the moment, but you don't have to explain to people why you're leaving. You can keep that part quiet. And again, it's a bit silly. Again, I think it's a bit silly and naive. Kson isn't like Kson isn't a young woman. Okay, she's a hag, and she does her voice acting shit. She's worked with a lot of businesses. She's no greenhorn. She's not a Wookiee. A Wookiee. She's not a Wookiee, and she's not a rookie either. I don't know if I believe that. Honestly, that's even rookies know their rights and understand the concept that if they work, you're owed income, you're owed salary for what you work. If you get fired halfway into the month, right, and you get paid monthly, you're still entitled for that 2 weeks you were working. I don't believe her personally. I don't know why she'd lie about it, but I don't believe her. I don't know what this means though at the moment. We'll see.
And that was scary for me. But so recently I've decided, fuck it, I'm leaving. And
okay, so she's finally had enough. Fine, I believe that.
You guys that I will be leaving this month, and I was getting ready for that. I wasn't ready for today's whatever came out today. I was not ready. There were so many things that I didn't know, but this is what I know.
Yeah, you can't expect her to know everything either.
And I will have the Vshojo CEO, Vshojo JP CEO, explain this to you guys.
What an interview that was.
I have done so many.
So many.
It's not so many. It's only about 2. I've done 2 streams with him. I was saying all the good things about Vshojo. Fucking.
Wonder if they need to prove some level of malfeasance or contract break to be able to get out. I don't know US law, honestly. I am even as evil as the United States is towards workers and their rights. I think Vshojo is headquartered in California, right? So California would apply to Vshojo EN. Oh wait, actually, hang on a minute. No, Kson is under Vshojo EN umbrella, actually, isn't she? But I don't think California would let something like this fly. I think, I don't know, this would be something for legal mindset, but I imagine even in the United States, labor laws would be like, look, if you haven't paid an employee in 9 months, they're fucking free at that point to leave for any goddamn reason that they want, and you need to pay them back for what they've worked. I can't imagine any court in the United States that would take the company's side in that court case.
Embarrassed.
Oh, she is JP, is she? She is Vshojo JP. Okay.
About this.
There is only Vshojo US. JP's only a branch. That's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
So
it's all based in the United States, right?
For believing in someone who only had interest in our money.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? Poor Kson, right? I know people get mad at Kson because she's fallen off since she was Coco. She needs to have a VTuber CEO get her off focused and remind her where she comes from and go back to the good old days. But look, this is the thing. When you're laughing, yeah, I know. I appreciate the irony. I appreciate the hypocrisy when I say this, right? But remember, this means a great deal to some of these ladies, right? It's not a very nice thing to go through, and it's sad. They've trusted people, they've been betrayed, and there's an awful lot of money involved. Imagine how you guys would feel if you, no matter how rich you are, I don't know how much money Kson's owed, but a lot of motherfucking 9 months of salary is owed to Kson, and people who she worked with for a very long time and trusted have betrayed her and stabbed her in the back, and it's an emotional moment for her. It's not a very nice situation. Bless her.
Well, let's ask the Vshojo CEO, Vshojo JP CEO, about what the fuck's going on. I am going to call him right now.
She said Ferrari, buddy.
こちらはVshojo. This is Vshojo JP CEO.
About 400,000 then, if not more.
For now, yes.
まだギリギリ CEO だそうです。はい。音も聞こえてるということなので、I would like you to explain the situation because I know you know more about the situation than me.
Slightly more.
You hope so, as a CEO, yeah. Even if it's a proxy one.
And the fans should know everything. To my He'll be explaining
Oh god.
in
What a
Japanese and in
JPEG.
English. Is that okay with you?
I love the way she said that. She wasn't actually asking him. That was a demand framed as a question. Is that okay with you? The answer is yes. Say yes.
No, I'm not really
Oh, they auto translate subs. Okay, hang on. Ah, thank you.
good English speaker, and also I don't trust myself, like the speaking the correct word and term in English.
His fucking
I wanna be
icon.
super careful
What a
about
shit
what I'm saying
JPEG.
here, 'cause,
Right.
yeah, as you explained that.
That's fair.
Yeah,
But
like, and
okay, then
She's
English,
mad.
Japanese comes first. では、
She's
はい
she's
日本語
she's so mad, and I don't blame her.
まずディスクレーマー
Barely
なんです
contained
が
rage.
はい。
なんですね。
So you were told from Vshojo that they were willing to pay. They're gonna do it like next month. Of course they're working on it. And then now,
というこ
are
と
you
です、ね。
telling me that you've been lied to?
嘘をつかれていたっていうところはあったんですけれども、
Translate
So
YouTube.
did you just say that Vshojo JP itself was doing good
そうですね。
in finances too?
そうですね。
You haven't paid me.
っていうことになるんですね。
Oh my god.
本社の中の帳簿上はそうなってたっていうことは聞いてます。
日本
She's processing this. Wait a minute,
タ
what?
レントに1円も払われてない状態っていうのを把握しておられたんでしょうか。
そうです。はい。
And
So this is what
it's important to remember as well. I know Kson is very highly Americanized at this point. She's been in the West for a very long time, but still, you think about Japanese culture, and it's like Japan has a kind of culture where people would rather pretend they're not watching people get like violently sexually harassed on the train than speak up and do something about it. So for Kson to call this guy out to his face in such an angry way, fucking hell, like for a Japanese person to do that, whew, Christ.
I want to know. And this is what everyone wants to know.
Actually, yes. That's a very good point, actually. I haven't watched Legal Mindset stream yet. I haven't had time. But Legal Mindset seems to think that calling this guy as a CEO is somewhat... Yeah, I would say that's absolutely fair. He's more of a director, I would say, than a CEO. I would call this guy a director. And even then, he's got way too little to do to even be deserving of the title of director. I've been a deputy divisional director of an organisation before. And when I was a deputy director, I had 86 people under my charge, right? And again, when I was a company commander, right, you think about how many people I had there as well. So I was a 2IC. I wasn't the company commander. I beg your pardon. I was a 2IC, second in command. But still, for this guy to be called a director with the number of people that he has under his command, under his charge, right, it's ridiculous.
Why did this happen? Why? Why? なぜ起こったんですかこんなことが。
これに
Gave
関して
myself a
は
promotion there.
全ての
Promoted
範囲
myself
が
to
僕は見え
major.
てるわけじゃないんで、
Are you telling me that it's not like someone moved, like someone did something
I wasn't a commander, I was a
maliciously,
captain.
Like they just
Thank you, Joey.
weren't good at it.
とい
The
うことですね。
finances. Are you getting paid right now?
は、
Are you getting paid right
あなたはお
now?
給料もらってるんですか今、微症状から。
ほぼもらって
And this is a big thing, guys, okay? There's a big lesson in leadership here for you guys to learn, okay? You have to... leadership is a burden, not a privilege, and you lead by example. It's a fucking joke for you to be taking a salary when you do fuck all for a company and then the guys under you who are actually doing the work aren't getting paid. The fucking nerve of these people. God, I've been wanting to make a video on business and leadership in VTubing for a very long time. And it's this fucking Phase Connect documentary, man. I don't want to take time away from that. But once I've got this Phase documentary out of the way, I'm going to go fucking ballistic at Niji Sanji and Vshojo for its absolutely piss poor examples of leadership. Honestly, it really fucking annoys me. Yeah. Didn't think I checked the right subsetting. Okay, hang on. Subtitles. I don't... Oh, auto translates. Yes. I beg your pardon. Good job. Good job. Thank you. I do this to watch Mishru VODs. I do this to watch Mishru VODs. I can't believe I've forgotten how to do this.
ないですね。
ほぼってことは
ペイカット まあ、受けている。
Ah, okay, interesting. Okay, it would help if I had the time to watch Legal Mindset for the legal proponent. So they couldn't not get paid by Cali law. Talents are freelancers. I guess that's what the problem. Okay, interesting. If I was paid and the women were not, I feel like a cuck. Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? To get to these positions, this guy's model is appropriate because he looks like a rat fuck. I mean, I beg your pardon. Maybe this guy, I don't like this guy already. Okay, I look at this guy and he gives me the distinct impression of that miserable, self-absorbed, useless, pathetic, limp dick, spineless middle manager rat fuck. I don't like this guy. I don't know if it's just because of I don't know if it's because of the Japanese and his accent, but I could just hear it in his voice. I hear it. This guy is a sad sack of shit who I'd give the high knife hand, honestly. But carrying on.
I'm sorry, it's all about me, guys. But
well,
the only thing I could talk about is me right now.
It is all about you, though, Kson.
I'm not getting paid. Well, I'm not getting paid. You were getting paid. Well, staffs do have to get paid. So I'm not gonna say like, hey, don't pay the staff, just pay us. No, I'm not.
No, quite. It doesn't have to go that far, but at the same time, it sets a really bad example when, you know, I don't know about this guy in particular, but Gunrun and Co. have a lot of money, okay? They don't really need to take a salary. Probably. They don't really need to take a salary from Vshojo. So I think it would be a good example of proper leadership where Gunrun and Co. would be like, look, we're not going to, or at least we're not going to take any bonuses that we claim from Vshojo, or we're not going to take a salary at this time until we can pay our talents back. That would be a good display of leadership there, in my opinion. Yeah. This guy doesn't have anything to do with the financial situation, yeah. I mean, they presented him with the money, yeah. But this is the thing, though, about leadership, is that you don't just follow along what the higher-ups do. He should be sticking up for his guys, demanding answers and coming to them. And maybe he has, right? There's always the circumstance where he could have gone to Gunrun and the top dogs at Vshojo and demanded answers. But I don't get that impression from this guy. He was probably just happy to take his paycheck and kind of just sat there twiddling his thumbs, feeling sorry for himself as things are falling to shit and his talents aren't getting paid. And it's like, where's your fucking sense of leadership? Where's your sense of ownership? Where's your sense of responsibility to your guys? You should be kicking Gunrun's door down, going, when the fuck are my guys being paid? What the hell is going on? I want answers now. Stop fucking me about. And instead he's just like, I don't know very much. I don't. It's like, grow a fucking spine, man. Look after your guys.
But just kind of sounds very unfair.
It is unfair.
そうですね。
そうですね。
First, my ass. Was it like staff first?
まあでもスタッフは本当に悪くなかった。
Why the fuck isn't it generating? Hang on. Do I turn it off? Hang on. Get the fucking subs. Why aren't the subs working?
スタッフは本当に悪くなかった。
Jesus Christ. This works for the Mishru. When I watch Mishru, I turn this shit on. I don't know why it's not working for this. English. Wait. Auto translate. Oh, what if I just do auto? No, it asked me for the confirmation. Subtitles are on. Annotations are on. What am I missing here? Is he too quiet? Let me turn it up a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
だと思います。
Is the debt gonna be paid? Is my money gonna be paid?
Kson, please.
そうですね。デッドが払えるかどうか。
Kson, please speak normally. I know you don't want. I know Kason's probably very uncomfortable right now. Just talk normally, please.
っていうのは会社がこれから持ち直すかどうかにかかってる。特に US 側今の状態だと分離できていないんで。
It's weird. I don't know why it's not working.
持ち直せるかどうかにかかってるところなんですけど、かなり難しいと思います。
Or even try to add another multiple talents to this company.
Give me my money, bitch.
After I told multiple times that they haven't paid me and they have a lot of problems. What was that? What was that? あれ
Oh.
は何だったんでしょうか。
タレントが追加されたこともそうなんですけど、追加しようとしてることもそうで。
Hang on, I got an idea. Hang on. I'm going to restart the video and I'm going to see if that works. 1 second. I'm just going to take all these sources off so I don't accidentally reveal something I shouldn't. Let's try restarting the video. I won't restart the video. I'll continue from the same timestamp. Let's see if restarting fixes the translation issue.
So I have been lied to. From the company.
1 second,
A lot about
guys.
the
Auto
situation.
translate.
So my payment stopped last September. I was asking what's going on for a long time, multiple
Subtitles.
times. All they said was
English.
gonna be paid.
本社の中の帳簿上はそうなってたっていうこと
Hmm.
は聞いてます。
日本でもタレントに件も払われてない状態っていうのを把握しておられたんでしょうか。
そうです。はい。
So this is what I want to
I
know.
have no idea. It's not
And
working
this
for
is
some
what
reason for
everyone
me.
wants to know. Why they haven't paid
Okay, I'll put it back on. We're just going to have to watch it and have Kson translate for us, basically.
me, and they have a lot of problems. What that?
Okay, I'll see. I'll give him more time then.
何だったんでしょうか。
I'm still not very impressed with this guy, though.
タレントが追加されたこともそうなんですけど、追加しようとしてることもそうで。
Someone could have stopped the situation. It went all the way. It didn't have to go all the way.
そうですね。特になんか、
Did anyone inside Vshojo say, "Hey, there's something wrong. Hey, let's not do this. Hey,
Pertinent questions.
let's stop this and let's see what our finances are going."
Very, very pertinent
Looks
questions.
like this amount of money should be paid to the talents, and we haven't. Hey, we need to do something about that. Did anyone say anything about that?
They almost certainly would have done. Unfortunately, they decided that fuck you guys, basically.
という話を聞いて進んでたっていうことですね。
So they were lied to.
そういうこと。
See, Japanese CEO is meant to be full. No, so I guess maybe you don't understand the full context here. So the context here, by the way, is that this quote unquote CEO guy has no power. He has no ability to influence anything. That's not what my anger is directed at. I'm not angry at this guy because I think he's someone who could actually do anything. Rather, my anger is directed at the principle of the matter, that it seems to me that this guy knew something was fucky. He knew that talents weren't getting paid for a long time, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would bat for his team and basically fight on their behalf to get them what they're owed. Is what my problem with him is. So this isn't a fall guy or anything. This guy has nothing to do with the downfall of Vshojo, really. This is just my own anger at this guy being, from what I could assume, I don't know, maybe I'm being very unfair, spineless to his charges. Rather, everybody's anger should be directed at the finance business partners in Vshojo who are faceless, basically the people who are in charge of the company finances and the company accountants, and obviously the CEO himself who would have signed off on many of these decisions. So no, this guy isn't someone you should direct your anger at for the downfall of Vshojo or the mistreatment of talents or whatever. This is just a separate rant from Lord Maulington about displays of bad leadership, ownership, and accountability. So don't get the two conflated. Yeah. Thank you very much for the $2, CJ Odell, buddy. Thank you very much. And there it is. Faith keeps winning by doing absolutely nothing. Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah, the chief financial officer is probably one of the biggest issues here.
誰がそのいわゆる嘘やんってなるんですけど、誰がその嘘をついてたんですか？
多分その判断をする人っていうのも複数にいるっていうところと、そこが明らかになるのは今後なんで、私には分からないところです。
That sucks. I can't get the subs.
Any questions from chat? I'm sorry, chat. There's so many things going on in my head. There are so limited things I can say. There are
Private investors. Okay.
legal issues going on. I don't want to stir anything up for the other girls because they have their own
Essentially the same
things they
thing as
have to say,
shareholders. Yeah.
so let's not. There's so many things I want to tell you that I shouldn't. Will there be an apology from the company? I hope there would. Will they?
I mean, they could. Who's going to accept and care for an apology at this point, though? This is a bit. This is a sorry, whoopsie daisy. We'll learn from this kind of situation. It's gone a bit beyond that. Saying sorry isn't going to accomplish anything. Not even the principle of the matter at this point.
An apology or something, any statement, any public, whatever.
I mean, on a private level, maybe a very low bow and apology to the talent specifically from Gunrun himself might not go amiss. Maybe that they probably won't appreciate it and they'll tell him to go to hell. But sure, maybe a personable apology to each talent would be a start.
From the company?
The subs might not work, Poltfin said, because he was using pretty formal Japanese. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Mishru does swear like a sailor and use a lot of slang, so I don't know if it's that, maybe.
私もそう願っていますが。
Yeah, the best way to apologize is to pay the talents what they're fucking owed.
Well,
but it's too late for that now because they've all quit.
Many things I have to apologize to the fans.
You don't have to
So,
apologize to the fans for
Thank you,
anything, Kson.
Vshojo, JP, CEO for now. ありがとうございます。一応、so that was Vshojo, JP, CEO for now. I know there's a lot of things you want to say, of course. Me too. I want to yell. I want to scream.
Don't
I want to
blame me.
cry.
Yep.
And I feel like there were so many unanswered questions.
Lydia showed it earlier, had Translate working. Yeah, it's
this is
strange. I've
just
got all the
sad.
settings on. It's not working for some
They
reason.
said so many good things. And I know that they, like, it wasn't their intent to, like, be like this, and I know that, of course. They didn't want this too. I know that.
Yeah, again, like that guy had no ability to influence anything, not his fault, but still, I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who'd. I keep banging on the point, but you know what I mean.
I hope, like, they're not the evil that you guys,
Yeah,
some of you guys are saying.
yeah. He's not evil.
No, it's
I think
not.
he's just a spineless
But-
middle manager.
It's true that they made this kind of mess. Will you really quit today, or will you quit in the 31st? I quit today. Yes, I quit whenever I want to.
Understandable.
And I've said that from day
Understandable.
one. If I want to quit, I quit. And I am leaving Vshojo today. At this moment. Well, I feel like I've already left like 2 hours ago. But yes.
Yeah.
The reason I had waited so long, the money I should have received all the way back from last year, I think. Right now, I don't even know what they have paid and they haven't, so I can't go to the specifics, but they haven't paid me for a long time. The reason that I waited for this long time is because I thought if I reveal any information that they are not paying, but yes, I was willing to quit. Now, 少女に対して少女ってこういうとこなんだ。
Okay, there we go. That's the end of that clip. Okay, 1 second. Let me turn the music back on and bring the source back. Okie dokie. I don't know. I got the impression that this guy is 100% on Kson's side. I don't doubt that he's on Kson's side. I don't know how you could know what he was doing on the back end. I can't, but the thing is, I appreciate that Kson caught him in a bit of a... Kson caught him unprepared on short notice, but again, it's like this thing of if I were particularly the quote-unquote CEO or a director of a company of talents, and I knew some of them hadn't been paid in 9 months, I would, if I was pressed on it by the people under my charge, I'd say, look, so I know that you haven't been paid for a long time, so I went to speak to whoever, or I tried to get a meeting or interview with whoever to try and find out what was going on, and they didn't tell me anything, or they told me this. So again, it could be just the way he's communicating in the moment. He could have done these things, just the way he's communicating in the moment. Didn't say that, but I would have thought that, you know, Kson called him on and demanded some answers, and essentially his response was, I don't know, no idea. And it's like, I don't know. I would have thought someone in this position would at least be able to say, I've had these discussions with these people. Here's what I've been told. I can't tell you more than that. It's a bit weak. Just strikes me as very wet and a very weak thing for a very senior manager to do, honestly. Well, this is the thing though. He didn't know what Kson was going to do when he got on a public call that would be seen by millions. He didn't know that Kson was going to do this, though. That's the thing. He had no way of knowing. With all due respect to the situation, it looks like Kson was waiting for a perfect moment to farm this situation. Possibly. It could be that as well. I don't know much about Kson to make that assessment. This is always the problem with these kinds of situations, is that you can't tell really what's genuine, what's like political machination, and what's like farming for clout, attention, money, whatever. We have no way of knowing what's genuine and what's real in that regard. But again, the whole thing there, the point to make is that fucking that interview was a complete train wreck. She called that poor guy completely off guard, but at the same time, I don't know, he seemed just a bit wet and a bit weak with his responses to Kson. Even in spite of that, I don't know, he doesn't just strike me as someone who has who cares all that much about the people under his charge. And most people in businesses, particularly in these kind of businesses, don't, honestly. He's not the only one. Most people in business are like this. It's why it's the standard for business managers, honestly. So sure, it's fair to say I'm being extremely harsh on him, but I don't know. I don't know what he's done behind the scenes, but it just rubs me the wrong way. I just get a bad impression from the guy. But that's not really the point of that video. It's just to go over this drama between Kson and Vshojo as well. Oh wait, your lordship, it is my duty to inform you that you may have changed your translation settings. And is that what I did? Hang on a minute, I have to check this out now. Is that what I fucking did? Did I fuck up which way around the translations were going? Don't tell me I did that. Oh god, I have a history turned. Hang on, 2 minute detour whilst I have a look to see if that's what the problem was with VTuber CEO. But this is the thing, you can't convince me otherwise, by the way. I mean, I don't know the full facts about what that guy is doing, but he just strikes me as wet and uninspiring, and you can't change my mind otherwise. You can't change my mind to the contrary, honestly. I think it's unacceptably weak answers he was giving. Of course, still on Kson's side, I don't doubt that, but not good enough in my opinion.
僕は見えてるわけだ。
Auto translate. Okay, so auto translate English. Okay, yeah, it's going. I think you're right. English auto generated to English. How the fuck do I change it to options? How do I change it from English to Japanese? Oh, you know what I think? Fucking Lord Maulington tries to understand technology. Oh, you know what, fuck it, who cares? Who cares at this point? Let's move on, who gives a fuck? I don't know. I fucked something up. I don't know what it is. For some reason, yeah, it's translating English into English. It won't pick up Japanese for some reason, whatever. Oh, I saw that, but I got ignored. Sorry about that, I didn't see. I realised aside from my remaining OCs, I just don't watch Hololive much anymore. I lost most in English talents I cared about. No hate, I just watch indies more now. Yeah, I mean, I'm always more of a VTuber Corporation fan, honestly. I went the opposite way. I went from indies to VTuber Corporations because, understandably, over time, I found just a lot of indies eventually got burned out and stopped applying themselves as much as they used to. Whereas, under the cracking of the whip, under a VTuber Corporation, it tends to keep the fires burning in VTubers, I find. Just fine. Just remember, you might have to watch it when. Yeah, obviously, I need these subtitles to understand the Michi, so I'll definitely fix it there. But I don't know. I think with Michiru videos, it understands that she speaks Japanese the entire time, so it must automatically set it from Japanese to English for me. Yeah. But anyway. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Okay, well, we're approaching the end of the stream. Yeah, I don't have like a 4-hour fucking yapping nonsense stream for you today. I thought I'd try to keep it. Because there's so much shit that's yet to be revealed. It's going to get far worse. And there's going to be a lot more drama. So we'll see what further information comes. Oh, God, it's been a while since I've been picking up my Russian. I'm struggling with your name now. Oh, God, I'm forgetting my fucking Cyrillic alphabet. Gleb. Actually, hang on a minute. I know you before, Gleb. You've been here many times before. Gleb Konstantinovich. Is that right? Gleb Konstantinovich. By the way, with all new knowledge... God, I need to pick up Russian again. I'm going to forget it all otherwise. By the way, I've just been too busy to pick up my Russian. By the way, with all new knowledge situation with Matara... Now, yeah, I'd heard from Proctor from the Virtual Asylum. Well, I hadn't heard from him directly, but the rat from the Virtual Asylum was that Brave Group was going to buy out Vshojo. So I thought everyone was leaving based on that rumor. I thought everyone was leaving on the basis that they didn't want to be around for a Brave Group buyout. But I'm wondering now if it's this whole financial business. It could be both. Maybe Brave Group is still buying Vshojo anyway. We'll see. I don't know. Sounds a bit silly now, honestly, though, with Brave Group buying this organization. Almost correct pronunciation. How I'll get there. God, once I get this fucking phase documentary out of the way, it's gonna be like lifting 100 million tons from my back. There's so much other shit I want to do, and I'm gonna finally be free to do it. And part of that will be at least a bi-weekly stream where we learn Russian together, and you help me with proper pronunciation. Blyaj. Blyaj. Maulington just needs to get himself a long-haired Russian. I'd love to get myself a long-haired Russian wife. Russian women are fucking sexy, in my opinion. Oh la la. Thank you very much for the gifted member. I've actually taken major consideration into immigrating to Russia at one point, but I think the problem is if I move to Russia, the Russians probably wouldn't like me very much, and I'd probably get beaten to death on the streets by Russian nationalists who hear my British accent, or I'd probably be mobilized. So yeah, I don't fancy being mobilized, honestly. I mean, I've done my time. I ain't going back. I've already got a dodgy knee now. I don't want a second dodgy knee, or worse, to be blown up by a drone. Thank you very much for the gifted membership, Mr. Snowman, buddy. Mousy sabotaged the... Oh shit, the chat's gone. Mousy sabotaged the buyout by rendering Vshojo worthless. I guess that's one way of looking at it, yeah. Well, if Brave Group buys them now, hopefully they can get a much better deal. Yeah, we want our money back. We offered you 100 million for Vshojo. Now we'll offer you $5 and a chicken sandwich. It wouldn't be the first. Well, this is the thing, though. This wouldn't be the first time Brave bought a company only for them to shed all their talent. This is the thing. Why is Brave Group trying to retain more companies? They keep fucking up and fail cascading the ones they do own. What do they think? They just throw enough shit at the wall? It's gonna stick. Vshojo is done. There's nothing left to buy anymore. Yeah, they're just gonna buy a name. Essentially, they're gonna buy a brand, an IP of nothing. Yeah, that would be too brain dead even for venture capitalist firms. But I don't know. Normally, the Virtual Asylum, I normally get it right well before anyone else does. Yeah. So yeah, when they have a rat, I'm inclined to believe it. Of course, Lumi is a Soshi. I don't know very much about Mishi, honestly, so I can't comment on Mishi. But the whole situation sucks. These poor talents have been fucked over once again by no fault of their own, and it's put their careers, it's put their lives, it's set them back quite a lot. They're missing. I think Mishi, she said she's missing quite a lot of money as well. So again, you don't fuck with people's money, guys. You pay your people on time. Don't be fucking stupid with that shit. Phase Docs wins of GTA. Phase Docs coming out before GTA 6. I promise you that it's happening. I need to pass this bloody block driving test so I can focus more on language learning, among other things. Yeah, there's kind of a war going on. Yeah. You're too black to live in Russian, buddy. I'm not black. Although, yeah, I'm clearly not of Slavic. I have a Mediterranean skin color. I am definitely not Slavic. I've got too much hair to be a Russian as well. I've got too much hair to be a 32-year-old Russian man. Oh dear, the Disney strategy I see. I offer Gunrun a copy of my Jimmy Johnson card and $5 to take Vshojo off his hands. If Lumi isn't married or engaged, I would eat my shoes as well if Lumi doesn't at least have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I don't know if she's straight or bisexual, but Lumi is not single. You can't convince me that woman isn't single, man. Of course she is. No, of course she isn't. Imagine being Kuro or Mishi or Matara and getting the rug pulled on you again. Yeah, but at least this time it's an easier separation, I guess. But those poor buggers, second VTuber corporation. And the thing is as well, right, with those two, it's like, it looked like Niji Sanji was too big to fail. It wasn't. And then they joined Vshojo thinking, hey, Vshojo is too big to fail. Apparently it wasn't. Yeah, actual racism, actual homophobia and transphobia happens over there from what I've heard. I don't know, I've never been to Russia though. I would like to at least visit Russia. I want to go to Moscow, St. Petersburg. What's that place called? That port city on the far Asiatic side of Russia. It's got it's not too far away from the Korean border. What's it called? It's got a destroyer named after it. Does it begin with a Y? Can't remember now. I want to go to the Asiatic side of Russia as well. Vladivostok, that's it. That's the one. Poopy in shambles. I think most VTubers are in relationships. I think the highest concentration of genuinely single VTubers would probably be the Japanese bunch, and even Russia had a husband. Yeah, even Russia had a husband, though, right? So, yeah, you got no chance of marrying these. Well, I wouldn't say no chance. Maybe a small independent VTuber, guys. Maybe a small independent VTuber potentially might be available for you. Although a lot of them are getting married these days as well. For some reason, I seem to attract a lot of married women VTubers to my community. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me. Hopefully, it's not an implication that I'm actually gay or something. But it's a bit suspect that so many married women like me. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm childish. Maybe it's because I'm childish and they're just attracted to my childish charms. I like being childish though. I'm serious and miserable enough at work. I come on the internet. I'm on the internet to shitpost. Yeah, I'm not here to be serious. Yeah, they're called managers. You know, it genuinely upsets me when people go, oh, fucking Shondo was right. Shondo wins. Shondo was absolutely right. It's like, guys, if you needed Shondo to tell you what is really going on between VTubers and their managers, you're a lost cause at that point. Get off the internet. Get off the internet, you fools. Think about it. St. Petersburg is very European. Yeah, that's the thing. Even though the Slavic territories are in Europe, it's basically an entirely different kind of, it's alien to Western Europeans, the Eastern Europe. But I also want to see Asiatic Russia there as well. See what it's like over there. What's the so just a quick tangent. What's the ethnicity of people who live in Vladivostok? Are they native Russians or are they like steppe people who live in Vladivostok? What's the demographics of Vladivostok? Both. Oh, okay. Is Pippa married, or Pippa probably has a boyfriend, I reckon. I know people are going to go, oh, no way, Pippa doesn't. Pippa has a boyfriend. She definitely does. Pippa definitely has a boyfriend. I'm telling you right now, at least a boyfriend. Yeah, at least a boyfriend. She does. I'm telling you right now. But Pippa Pebblesworth definitely has a boyfriend as well. Blue and pink Pepper are taken, in my opinion. Mostly migrated Slavs in Vladivostok. Okay, that poor bastard. That's the thing. I'm glad you said that, human NPC. People are talking about... Oh, sorry. I moved my microphone too close to my mouth. And yeah, there we go. You can see me again now. Thank you, Nova Crusader. But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, most VTuber women, I look at them and I'm like, there's no... Oh my god, I would never in a million years date this person. Like, oh my god. High maintenance, they'd steal all my fucking soda, they'd get shit and there'd be filth everywhere, they'd leave the trash all over the place, they can't they're like cats, right? VTuber women are like cats, and cats are pointless and gross. Pippa is homeless. Yeah, she's on the RV arc at the moment. Yeah. That's what it says. Pippa's on the RV arc at the moment. Yeah. 70% ethnic Russian. I guess it makes sense. There's a lot of Koreans in Vladivostok and Chinese. Okay. Which girls in phase are single, in your opinion? Let me think. Urika? Urika's probably single. Everyone else in... Maybe Tenma. Tenma might be single because I think Tenma's a bit too intense for most men, really. So she could be single. But even then, all jokes and intensity and craziness aside, I can see plenty of men who would be interested in Tenma, though. So Urika, I reckon a good chance Urika's single. Maybe Tenma. Definitely not any of the Faith Japan girls. Even Mishru. Mishru definitely has a boyfriend. She's not outright come out and said she's had a boyfriend, but Mishru, someone made a joke once about Mishru and relationships, and she kind of waved it off, but she said it in a way where she was like, I'm not telling you guys anything about my relationship experiences. But the way she like laughed, her response to it implied that she's had boyfriends before and she's not going to talk about it kind of thing, rather than the oh shit, I'm going to upset my unicorns kind of way. It's more of a I'm not telling you guys that, like fuck off, none of your business kind of thing. So yeah, Face Japan girls definitely all got boyfriends. Everyone but Urika in Origins. In what the fuck is this conversation even? You know what? We've already started now, so you know what? Why not finish it? Whatever. Phase Alias. I would say Irie. I reckon Irie and Wemi are single. Now you'd be surprised about that, right? You think there's no fucking way Chisaka Irie is single. And in principle, you're right, but I reckon Irie's single on the basis that she's just too busy with her work and her hobbies to have a boyfriend. I reckon is what it is, not through lack of ability. I imagine many men would want to date Chisaka Irie. So Wemi and Irie for Alias. For the Phase Invaders, Lumi's definitely not single. Dizzy's definitely not single. Ember's definitely not single. Maybe Jelly. Jelly could be single. Hang on, fuck. Who am I missing? Lumi, yes. Dizzy, yes. Ember, yes. Jelly, maybe. No, Jelly, no. Actually, I say Jelly's single. That's all four. That's the Invaders. Yeah, that's the Invaders Gen 1. Well, that's for Gen 1 and 2. I refuse to call them Phase Invaders Wish or whatever the fuck it is. It's Lumi's Phase Invader Gen 1, and the others are Phase Invaders Gen 2. Okay, Generation 3. Saya Soroxis, even though she's no longer with us. I'd say no, actually. I don't think Saya had a boyfriend. Hina definitely has a boyfriend, if not a husband. Rooney Ruse definitely has a boyfriend. Amy, probably not, actually. I think Amy's too crazy and Yaoi Guna coded to have a boyfriend. I reckon Amy's single. Is that who am I missing? And Moo. I reckon it's a spicy one. I reckon Moo has a boyfriend. That you could I think the safe bet is to say that she's single. Yeah, the safe bet is to say she's single. I reckon she does have a boyfriend, you know. I reckon she does. So yeah, there's Generation 3. So who have we got next? Now we've got hang on a sec. I lost chat. Phase Japan, Phase Kaleidoscope. Clara, I reckon Clara's single because again Clara's too crazy to. I don't know actually. That said, yeah, I reckon Clara's too crazy. I reckon Clara's too crazy and career focused. I reckon Clara's single. You, I would say no. I reckon I reckon you isn't single. Loki isn't single. I reckon Pico isn't single. Kokoro, no, actually, I'd say Kokoro Memory, probably not single. I don't know about Pico. I don't know. I don't know very much about Pico, honestly. I've not really watched much of her, so I couldn't say. But the thing about these Japanese VTubers is they're all so cute and lovely. I can't imagine they'd have any problems getting boyfriends. And because Japanese women are so feminine In their culture, they're probably, it's like, I mean, it is, isn't it? Like, if you're under 30 in Japan and you aren't married with children or have a boyfriend, at least you're seen as a weirdo. So they almost certainly all got boyfriends if they're Japanese. So yeah, for Kaleidoscope, I reckon Clara's the only single one. And then when it comes to Phase Invaders Quest, right? So when it comes to our newest three, I would say Mari Ian probably has a boyfriend. I would say that Cleo. I reckon Cleo is single. Sleepy has a boyfriend. Sleepy 100% has a boyfriend. I reckon. So yeah, that's my predictions. She's got 5 guys. Apparently that was just a rumor and it's been debunked. So yeah. Apparently it's debunked. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. No, I forgot to mention the part actually. What did we learn? I forgot the what did we learn segment. Yeah. So boys, have you learned anything from Vshojo's implosion? Have you learned anything from the Great Fire of Vshojo? If you've learned anything, write it in the chat. If you've learned anything, have you learned anything? What have you taken away from this whole drama? If anything, what have you learned? What have you learned, guys? Didn't Panko get... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Panko. I knew I forgot someone. Yeah, Panko's definitely got a boyfriend as well. Panko isn't single. Of course she's not. Hey, Agamata. Everyone has a companion except Jelly, Maulington, and Uruka. Uruka and Jelly, Agamata, in my opinion. Don't treat the charity funds as your own personal gambling funds. Yes, that's a good one, guys. The thing is, I see what those sneaky fuckers at Vshojo were doing. They were like, right, we're going to take the charity money and we're going to do it to pay off operational costs. And they were kind of crossing their fingers and hoping, hopefully some magical solution will come along so that we can then get that money back somehow and pay the charity. But this is the thing, guys, this is why you don't pay charity money, donation money, to pay your bills or to like spend it on operational costs or whatever. Because what happens is if that money's gone then you can't get it back, you're then in this awkward situation where you have to stand up on stage and say to the entire world, yeah, so guys, you know that $500,000 that you gave us so that we could save dying children from a severe immune deficiency which will kill them at an early age and leaves them wheelchair bound and unable to go outside for long periods of time? Yeah, we spent all that money on the CEO's Christmas bonus. Oh, sorry. It's not a good look. Not a good look, is it? Someone's going to have to sell a kidney, maybe two, to get that money back. Yeah. I learned to pay attention to cockroach woman. She is old and smart. What? I've never heard that phrase before. What a thing to say, cockroach woman. I like that. Hey, Hagfish. How's it going, buddy? I don't hate Panko. I like Panko, but you're living in a fantasy land if you don't think that Panko Komachi. Where do you think she gets it from, You guys know what women are like, right? When you see a woman who's being really based and she's saying the N-word and the gamer words, okay? She got that. She picked that up from her boyfriend. She didn't pick that up naturally. That's not how women are coded. Okay, this is the thing with this, what are they called? The VTards, right? Do you guys see that the VTards thing that lasted like an afternoon before it collapsed or whatever? And you look at the VTards and they've all got based VTuber in the title, and it's like, guys, these women, these self-proclaimed like Nazi edgy based women, they've all learned this shit from their boyfriends. Man, they're not single. They're not single. Their boyfriends taught them all this shit. You've got sloppy force from these women, I'm afraid. It was funny as hell. I'll give it that. It was funny. I just, again, I thought the VTards thing is fucking stupid, cringe. It's really, it's 19-year-old, it's 18-year-old goth girl coded, the VTards thing. But I must admit, it did tickle my inner Suffolk Awful Forums goon when I saw it, because if there's one thing that I do love, though, it's watching people like that piss off miserable self-righteous dickheads who can't take a joke and have to like moral fag over clear rage bait, right? I hate moral fags. more than I hate cringe, stupid, idiot people, honestly. So a net positive, a net win for the retards in my book, as cringy as they are. The shittiest grift in VTuber history. Agreed, yeah. But I know some people like them, and that's fine if you like them. It is funny, I'll give you that. But it is cringy and stupid though, you have to admit. The VTard parodies, what VTubers are, secret identity, having no boyfriends. They parodied all of those, and that's why lots of people hate them. Yeah, but a lot of people like them as well, because it's the counterculture effect, right? It's the early signs of the pendulum swinging, where people are so fed up with moral policing in not just VTubing, but anything, where they're like, you know what, even if one of them has openly said publicly on Twitter that other than the killing, they are in full alignment with everything the Nazi party did, then like, hell yeah, like, because fuck the establishment at that point, you know, just fuck normalcy. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's a natural evolution of things. But God, I don't know. But yeah, stupid. Thank you very much for the $5 again, Vanity buddy. Most women that have hobbies got it from an ex or current significant other. Yeah, and that's the thing. Most women have really stupid, annoying, girly hobbies like shoes, makeup, and shopping, and like watching Love Island and dating shows and reading like love books and shit. If you see a girl who's into Warhammer or nerd shit or whatever, she either got that from her dad or she got it from a boyfriend, basically. Don't overspend and pay on time. Lower expenses if needed rather than push the issue forward. Yeah, those girls are glowy in my opinion. Nah, I disagree, glowy. They're not glowies, they're just entering they're re-entering their 18-year-old goth girl phase, right? They're just against the system and they're just rage baiting to get ahead, basically. And loads of people do it, right? Everybody has an angle to get ahead. You get rewarded for it. It's rewarded them massively. It's given them so much engagement, right? Bint does it, Nyara does it, Anal Violence does it, these VTards do it, I do it, right? I pick on Niji Sanji because I know it gets the good funny numbers, right? We all do it, whatever. It's important to remember, guys, don't take the internet too seriously, because everybody on the internet isn't real for the most part, and most people on the internet are stupid and gay and weird and pathetic and aren't worth your time, including myself. Okay, we're all fucking idiot retards, so treat people on the internet exactly what they are: cringe, retard, idiot. Simple as. Talking nonsense and arguing on the internet like Louis, yeah. All women are glowies until appropriately corrected by a man's fist. Don't quote that. I'm joking, don't quote that. Man, I miss goth girls as well. God, I want to go to a goth IHOP. Fucking hell. Do you think Gunrun will go to prison? Fucking hell. I don't think Gunrun... I don't know. I don't think Gunrun will be going to prison. No. It's a civil case, isn't it? Not criminal. It's civil, so he won't be going to prison. Although I don't know. Can you go to prison for like bankruptcy or shit like, or like financial mismanagement in the US? I don't know. That is something you can go to prison for, because I thought it was civil. I hope Gumrun goes to prison. Shit, yeah. I'll do it for just the memes. No money needed. Oh, who? Oh, the PC girls are goth girls in real life? Some of them probably were at some point, I reckon. Fists, really leave for everyone, yeah. Too late, I put on Twitter, you're already cancelled. Oh, the thing is, David, I'm a male VTuber, so I am cancelled by virtue of existing, all right? Male VTubers come pre-packaged with cancellation. That's how it works. That is fine territory, not prison. Okay. I think it was Pippa Penny who Tectone met that, oh yeah, that VTuber and their manager banged months. Oh, really? Oh, that's really spicy if that's true, Hagfish. But I mean, yeah, you should. I know you can't. I know some people can't help it. Right? You can't help. You got these strong emotions. You're lonely. You're struggling mentally. You're looking for affection, touch. You get too attached to these people on the internet, and your brain and your chemicals make you do silly things. But do remember, guys, these VTuber women, they're all being plowed by Tyler, the quarterback in the high school football team or whatever. even the ugly and fat ones are, I'm afraid to say, because most of these successful VTuber women, no matter how out of shape or ugly they may appear, they're still very highly talented, charming, charismatic women who probably have a stellar personality, and they'll have no problems getting any man who will take that, right? I imagine how many of you would be put off by your Oshi being a 4 out of 10 and quite fat, but being who she is, right? I don't think many of you would say no, regardless. Not only corpos have skeletons in the closet, one day some shitstorm will happen near Shy Lily, Numi, and all that indie groups. And yeah, I agree with you, Gleb Konstantinovich. Bao, Shy Lily, Numi. I'm a miserable fucking cynic, right? I just don't trust people, his whole branding, especially... I sound like a massive sexist incel when I say this, right? I don't mean to sound like this. I'm just a naturally paranoid person who just suspects the worst out of people, right? And then acts accordingly, right? I'm happy to reach out to people in a spirit of genuine friendship, but I'm always it's like you know how we as men, no matter what we're doing, we're always planning on what our next move is in case the room we're currently in has ninjas like break in, or like the zombie apocalypse suddenly happens and we have an exit plan, right? That's a bit of Maulington lore there for you. I genuinely go with the flow. I'm happy to reach out and do anything with anyone. I don't care. I don't consider myself above or below anyone. But it's like at the same time, I always think I'm always suspicious though. I'm always paranoid. I'm like, okay, is there a potential angle here, or is this just whatever? Okay, I can't think of an angle, so okay, we're fine. I'll let my guard down a little bit, but I'm never letting my guard down entirely. So yeah, when I see these big VTuber, particularly women, acting all nice and friends, I know I've grown up in a female-dominated town for a very long time. I went to school for many, many years, surrounded mostly by women, befriended many women, lived in halls of accommodation in university with mostly women. I know what women are like. There's no one who hates women more than other women. So when I see a bunch of women together, particularly women competing over the same audience, working collaboratively with seemingly no conflict and acting nice and pleasant all the time, that's impossible. That doesn't compute. That doesn't add up to my lived in experience. I don't believe it. But the thing is, I don't watch those VTubers. I don't give a shit what the fuck they're doing behind the scenes to each other or to their competition. I don't care. As long as it doesn't involve Face Connect or Girl DM, do what you like. Fuck off, quite frankly. Those friends groups get backstabby. They do, absolutely, yeah. All those years living with Jimmy Savile. That's funny. I like that. Unfortunately, I was too old for Jimmy Savile, unfortunately. I'm too old for it. Crabs in a bucket and active sabotage of the competition. Yeah, you know, the thing is, right, it's not just women as well, though. It even happens among the male content creators on Twitch. The peace among the peace among all major content creators is held together by blackmail or threats of blackmail, right? Everybody's got dirt on each other, just like politics. Everyone's got dirt on each other. All it takes, right? You piss off. It's like, even with me, for example, if someone like if a really big VTuber, right? Let's say Vox Akama started shit with me. I'm not someone he wants to start shit with, because I'm that cringe autistic retard who made a 2-hour-long documentary on Pipkin Pippa, right? So it's like, if Vox wants to start shit with me, I am genuinely that sad and bored enough that I would go trawling through his entire history wherever it's been archived to expose him, right? So that's kind of, you know, just to spite him, basically. That's kind of the environment that content creation is, right? If you piss me off enough, I will go rummaging through your skeleton closet to see what I can find, just to fucking spite you. I am that petty. So I'm a very nice, polite guy until I'm not. If you genuinely piss me off, I can be really fucking petty and vindictive when I want to be. You'll find the mass grave. I will find those mass graves. Mutually assured. That's exactly it, Miroslav. anyone who wants to start any big content creator who wants to start shit with me better be prepared for mutually assured destruction. I do not give a fuck. Okay, language filter, behavior filter off. No holds barred. Nothing is sacred. That is the old school. That is the old school Something Awful Forums goon right there. That is the old school creed of trolling. Nothing is sacred. Everything comes out in the open. You do not give a shit about what people think about you. But that's never going to happen, is it? It's never going to happen because I'm a good boy and I don't do nothing wrong. And it's unlikely that any big content creator out there stupid enough to pick a fight with a fucking literal who retard like myself and start a beef anyway. Whatever. So I guess in terms of lesson learned, what have we learned from Vshojo? I think what we learn is that actually virtue signaling and having complete talent freedom isn't what it's all chalked up to be. If it gets in the way of business, don't do it. Okay, when you're a CEO of a company, you have a duty to your staff that you have hired under you to keep the business fiscally positive, so that you have a job and that they will continue to have employment. They'll continue to have a job they can go to, right? So it might sound nice and flowery and lovely to be like, oh, I'll give the talents 80% of the cut and 100% of the merchandise. How are you going to fund that? What's going to happen if the market's going through a slump? What's going to happen if you lose a talent or two? What happens if you lose your star talent and now you've gone from riding that line of being neutral to now you're deep in the red? How are you going to recover from that? You need to think about these things. You don't just need to be slightly positive. You need to be able to have an emergency fund and an emergency plan to recover from financial mismanagement. And you need, as a company, you need to sometimes get involved and micromanage and interfere in the activities of your VTubers, because particularly with some of these VTuber women, is that they are genuinely menhera. They're mentally ill. I mean, they're women. All women are mentally ill, right? And the thing about women is that you need to treat them with the kid gloves, and you need to be nice to them. Otherwise, they have a meltdown and they get emotional. But sometimes women do need a bit of kick up the backside to apply themselves, right? And I think what's let Vshojo down is they've been way too hands off. They've had way too many talents are allowed to not bring enough money into the company, and some of them have not been streaming for an unacceptably long amount of time. You should have brought in replacements who could have helped keep your company fiscally responsible by keeping some of these long-term hiatus people around and not bringing in replacements who will keep the company going. Yeah, it's going to really piss off the fans. It's going to cause a bunch of drama, but you owe it to the company. You owe it to the people who are actually working for your company to bring in live bodies who are producing money, because situations like this happen, right? So unfortunately, if it looks like a talent isn't coming back, I say you give them no more than a year. You allow them to take a maximum of a year sabbatical. And if they're not back within a year, you can them, right? And you say, look, everybody, I know you liked your fucking whatever VTuber, but she hasn't streamed in a year. We're trying to run a business here. It's time to bring in new blood who can make sure this company keeps going, right? Because we can't afford to have someone on the roster who isn't here, isn't working, essentially. So yeah, and yeah, the phase of Menhera Connect, they needed the Fishman to tell them what to do, and they needed Mumi to soften the Fishman's whip and do it in a constructive way so that they will achieve the desired results. Vshojo, yeah, it really truly is Vshojo now. So I guess I don't really have anything more to add to that. But boys, one of the major lessons, remember this, boys, if you're going to own a business, make sure you pay your staff what that owes. Make sure you pay them on time. You can't be fucking embezzling money, okay? Especially charitable donations, and spending that money on covering your operating costs, especially when you know you're hemorrhaging money and won't be able to pay it back. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Even a complete retard like Mr. Yachtman probably understands that he can't be spending charitable donation money on operating costs. I think I certainly hope so. And it doesn't look good when you steal a large sum of money from dying, deathly ill people and children. There's no amount of "I'm sorry," like South Park, where they're rubbing their nipples and going "sorry." That's got to fix nothing, right? And treat your talents well, guys. Treat them what you owe. Give them what you owe them. Don't be late on payments, and don't make promises you can't keep. And give talents proper contracts as well. Give them plenty of time to discuss it legally. You know, all the basic business shit. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for today's stream. That's everything we know about the Vshojo situation so far. There's going to be a lot more coming. According to Tectone, apparently Tectone, I know that people get funny about Tectone because the guy's masturbation brain rot drama seeking guy of the maximum, but apparently he's known about a lot of Vshojo drama for many years. He knows more shit's coming, and he was going to stream about it tonight. So if you want more juicy Vshojo drama, go check out Tectone's stream. If you don't like Tectone, then I'm sure Rima and False ID are having everything leaked to them due to their mad network connections. I imagine Armchair Expert as well Armchair Expert is probably going to do a more comprehensive, factual, intellectual, I guess, kind of breakdown as to what's going on with the Vshojo situation and why it's a disaster. So yeah, I've given you the quick rundown. I've given you the kind of gist of what's going on, if you didn't know what's going on, and then you can take that base information going forwards. Rima, False, Tectone, Armchair will explain it in further details, and will properly archive the ongoing drama with Vshojo for you. After this stream, I'm not going to touch the Vshojo shit anymore in terms of like videos or streaming, at least for now. I might update you with posts on my YouTube profile, like posting thing. What I will do is, as I said before, I do intend to branch into leadership, business and analysis in VTubing corporations, and Niji Sanji and this situation with Vshojo is something that I'm going to cover in a it's not going to be like my usual like education, law and shit posting memery. It's going to be like a deadly serious, right, let's take a look at the business model, the leadership structure, the culture of these VTuber corporations. What do they do well? What's the good things that they do? What have they done wrong? Why are these things wrong? What are the cause and effects? Like what's the consequences of these decisions that they've made? Right, but kind of like what Armchair does, but instead of PR, it will be business and leadership, stuff like that, essentially. So yeah, once the Phase Connect documentary is done, I'm going to kind of split it, do more of that shit, and we're going to start with Niji Sanji, and then we'll probably do Vshojo next. So yeah, I'm not going to touch this until I'm ready to properly deconstruct Vshojo's business and leadership fails, and then kind of make a 40-minute video on that, maybe. So yeah, as I said a long time ago, I try so hard not to be a drama VTuber and to do that shit healthy anymore. I do get the urge to shitpost, but I genuinely feel really bad for the people who do take this VTuber corporation stuff very seriously. I just can't, in my heart, I just can't do it. I just feel really bad about mocking and memeing on it, knowing that there are people out there who are fucking devastated by the news, and some of them probably need like the memeing and the jokes to kind of help them get over it. But it's like, I just feel so bad because I've had, when the Niji Sanji thing was going on, I remember seeing people comment in the posts I was making where they were like genuinely fucking really upset that their Oshis were graduating or like got severely mistreated, and I'm like, oh, my heart, I can't do it to these guys. I'm not mean. I'm not that mean. I'm not mean enough to be a shameless drama tuber, unfortunately. Almost there. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there. But anyway, thank you very much for watching today's stream, guys. I will speak to you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching. And actually, let's see if there's anyone to raid. Who can we raid? Who's streaming at the moment? Who would you like to... Sleepy doesn't tend to have raids on. Let's see if Sleepy's got raids turned on today. Good old Sleepy. I'm really, as I said before, right? I told you guys that I thought Sleepy was going to be a smash hit. I thought Sleepy was going to be a sleepy hit, you might say. I did say that, and I'm glad that I was proven right because, yeah, Sleepy is such a wonderful, lovely woman. I love Sleepy. She's got her head screwed on straight. Oh, Minna Vanilla's streaming. Ooh, actually, I'll send you guys to Minna. Hell yeah. Okay, guys, I'm sending you to Minna Vanilla. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for the donations and the money, and I will update you actually on the donathon later. Bye-bye.